Absolutely.
Quit cracking them knuckles.
No.
Pervert.
They hired a honey for sick lots of money, hoping their news would become #1. They're not even lurking. The plan isn't working. Can't be Brian Williams or Charlie Gibson. If poor Katie Couric can't get out of her own way, and I bet she's sorry she left today. Most people don't give a rat's ass anyway. But I guess they do at CBS. It's like a dumb sitcom, and she acts like your mom, telling you all of the things you did wrong. She's showing off her legs while laying ratings eggs, but that's a good reason to write this here song. 'Cause poor Katie Couric can't get out of her own way, and I bet she's sorry she left today. Most people don't give a rat's ass anyway.
Rectum.
But I guess they do at CBS.
WSTR in Sturgis, Michigan, rest in peace. It no longer exists. Boy, I'm looking through all these call letters of all these stations, and that's the way it is, this business, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
They don't exist no more. Or the call letters have been taken by somebody in some other place that has nothing to do with, like, wherever the hell it used to be. Like WFUN. I bet you there's a WFUN now, you think?
There has to be.
Let's see. Let me stick it in here, okay? Oh, come on. You can do better than that. WFUN. Ashtabula, Ohio. 970 on the AM dial. That exciting?
No.
Oh. So I watched Spider-Man last night. That was pretty good, the first one.
All
and I got the second one I'll watch later today, maybe, or when I get around to it.
It's better.
Second one is better?
Yeah, they took
I'm
it up
just
a notch.
devastated, though. I'm devastated.
Well, maybe you'll watch him grow and develop in the movies there.
Does he grow and develop in the second part?
His story does, yeah.
That's all that grows and develops. James Franco is in Spider-Man. He plays Harry, which he is not Harry, but nevertheless he was scrawny and ugly and very disappointing. And the movie was great, though. Not great. I give it like I give it an 8. It's pretty good.
It was all right.
No, I thought it was better than all right. I thought it was pretty good. You didn't like it? You just
No,
don't like
I
Tobey
liked it
Maguire.
fine.
I don't like Tobey Maguire either that much, but he was pretty good in this because he didn't have to act.
No,
he did not have to act.
Walked around.
I got on the phone and called Geico.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, how's it going?
After a few days, I had my repair check. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I got the check. Got my car fixed. It's my birthday. Fixed my bumper. In the tail light.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
It's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday to you. It's not his birthday, though. His birthday, he was born in 1969, Vern Troyer. I don't really care about that, or about him, to be honest with you. But he was born in Sturgis, Michigan. I worked there. How do you like that? At WSTR, 1966. 40 years ago. God, am I old? Am I old or what?
Yeah,
I know. Isn't that something, though?
It's a relative term.
Yeah, but how many other people would you like run into? Somebody famous like Vern Troyer was born in Sturgis, Michigan, right by the Michigan-Indiana border. And I lived like a mile from the radio station, right across the border in Howe, Indiana. Howe.
Now.
George Clooney is the #1 man's man, according to a list compiled by AskMen.com. Oh, boy. Well, what does that really mean, man's man? Well, I know it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. It could mean that. And, of course, if you're... I don't think you got the hots for George Clooney, unless you got bad eyesight. Good God. The Oscar winner tops the Web's list of what it calls the 49 best representatives of the male gender. I mean, what does that mean? The 49 best representatives of the male gender. Rap mogul Jay-Z, adventurer entrepreneur Richard Branson, cyclist Lance Armstrong and designer Tom Ford make up the rest of the top 5. See, if you were to ask me the 49 best representatives, and I don't have the whole list. You can get it on their website, AskMen.com, but I don't want to go through the whole thing. Wouldn't you think Tom Brady would be on that list somewhere?
Okay.
As one of the best representatives of the male gender in terms of looks and ability and the money and fame and all of the accomplishments. Wouldn't you think that? Even Josh would go along with that.
Yeah.
Or not. Whatever. Now, you saw Spider-Man, right?
I saw both of them, yeah.
And thought it was pretty good.
Very good.
Well, good. I thought it was great. Like I said, not great. I enjoyed it more than the beginning especially. Boy, take some notos in the beginning.
Yeah.
The first 20 minutes or so really drag. Oh, it is so...
Well,
and I thought to myself, why did George do this to me? Why did he make me watch this?
You have to introduce the
character. And then when I saw how ugly James Franco was in that movie, I mean, he could have used like some lipstick or something. He looked like he had pale lips and skinny. Feed him a sandwich or something.
Or something.
And, of course, this is very much like... I never read the comic book Spider-Man. I was never into that at all. I liked Plastic Man.
Plastic Man was good and funny.
Plastic Man was great,
Plastic Man comics were very funny.
Mm-hmm. So I never really was into Spider-Man at all. But
never bought it.
You notice the similarities between this and Superman, the story? I mean, especially Smallville. Oh, I saw Smallville on the plane, as a matter of fact, coming back from down there.
Was it
wherever
small?
I went. It was small. No, actually, Tom Welling had swelled up, like Tobey Maguire does after he gets the spider bite in the movie, and all of a sudden he bulks up miraculously.
Tom Swelling?
Hey, if Tom's swelling, I want to see that. Oh, thugs. There's one for the pool today. Okay, we'll get to the pool in a minute. Just relax. I just thought this was kind of another bizarre pool. The list will be posted tomorrow. Or no, Tuesday it said. That's today, isn't it? Bill Clinton was number 10. Tiger Woods 13th. Travel show host Anthony Bourdain was 19th on the list. I never heard of him. Rocker Bono was 27th. Oh, please. Cracker, please. Apple co-founder Steve Jobs was 29th, and director Martin Scorsese was 46th. Entourage star Jeremy Piven ranked 49th. I never heard of Jeremy Piven. Did you?
Yeah, I don't watch that show, but I'm aware of.
But when you go to the website AskMen.com, you can. It tells you. It shows you one by one. You have to go through the whole list.
Yeah.
And so that's the one that pops up first. It goes to 49 and it goes backward, and it gives you a little icon there you can click on. Should he be rated? Do you think he ought to be rated higher or lower? And I took a look at him and I clicked lower immediately. Thugs. You want to put thugs on there?
We did. He did.
No. Okay, here's the poll from yesterday. Someone or something you would never listen to. By the way, Joe Bell was in this morning and gave George a big kiss, little tongue.
That's
for that great rating that we had. He didn't say anything about the rest of the day parts, did he?
Not to me, no.
No. He said, all you other guys, you're all fired. Something or someone you would never listen to on radio. Religious program 574. That's because we got a bunch of heathens out there who are not part of this religious fundamentalist Getchke crowd. Thank God for that.
Oh, God.
See, we heard you say it. We heard you say, thank God, we caught you. Yeah. Rush Limbaugh, 374. Pop a couple more, Rush. Hip-hop Music, 192. Bill O'Reilly, 158. Boy, his radio show is the best-kept secret in history. It is. He's still got like a point. Oh! George Rodriguez, oh, my God, you still held out of that top 5 spot. You ought to be proud of that.
Neil Rogers, good. George Rodriguez, no good.
102 for George. They would never listen to you. That's what they say, but they were there.
Of course.
Country Music, 66. Sports Talk, 61. Scare America, 39. I Hate This Poll, only 37, 2.2%. Got a 2-2 on that. Jazz, 19. Classical Music, 19. Neil Rogers, lucky 13. Good enough for Dan Marino and Matt Sundin. It's good enough for me, 13. They would never listen. See, these are people listening right now, but they just try to, bust my balls like I really care about that. Matt Drudge, 12. And public radio, way down there in the bottom, only 4. Because just like George, they're glued into public radio.
I haven't listened in months ever since I got a whole bunch of new CDs from fine listeners in our audience.
Really?
Yeah.
I know who you like most on there.
Bill, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
Anyway, Clarence needs some serious assistance, and of course, I being the hockey maven, I should have noticed this yesterday. When I read Panthers at Washington, I knew that was wrong, but I just forgot who the hell they were playing. I knew it was a home game. He's got the whole Panther. We're your Panther station. If I was there, if I was one of the Panthers, I'd come there and high stick him right now, Clarence. Don't you think?
You'd spear him?
He's got the whole schedule wrong all week. He finally corrected Friday. He had a phantom game. He had him playing 3 days in a row, which no NHL team plays 3 games in a row. He had him playing the Flyers in Philly on Friday, which that's a game that doesn't even exist. He's also got them playing the Rangers on Wednesday in New York and on Thursday in New York. Well, guess what? They play the Rangers on Wednesday and the Devils in Jersey on Thursday. I had to look up the schedule to correct all this because he had the Panthers at Washington last night, which it was Atlanta at the Yenta Center right there in Sunrise, and Atlanta beat them 6-3, by the way. But nevertheless, I mean, Clarence, we're supposed to be the Panthers station. You can't even get the schedule even close to being right. That's how much of his time I guess he's spending looking for another a line of work more suited to his ability. Which anything that has to do with radio is out of the question. Should have got me all worked up when Joe was in there. I could have gone off on a rant.
Yeah, that's all right.
What's the point, you know? He's a good guy. He means well. He's inept, but he means well. And Clarence, well, just the inept part. 12 minutes past 10 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday to you. We'll get to today's poll momentarily. And, of course, Barry Jackass says that the broadcast types we ought to lay low on UM. We should be like leaning on UM. Well, screw you, Barry, okay? And your mama, too. What's in the brown bag? What's in the sack for lunch today, Barry? You quisling.
You fairy.
Hey, good news. It's Don Mattress's birthday, and guess what?
About 30, man.
Oh, you know, wouldn't that be cute if I could find that damn thing again? I probably won't, though.
What's that?
Call Geico.
Yeah. Quote. Hey, how's it going?
After a few days, I had my repair check. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I got the check. Got my carpet. It's my birthday.
Hey, it's their 30th birthday at Dollar Mattress.
It was worth it.
He was born in Sturgis, Michigan. That is shocking. They had a bowling alley where they had a restaurant in there, you know?
Sure.
And they had the best clam chowder in history. Some days when we would go to lunch, I would get like 2 bowls of chowder would be my lunch. That's how good it was. Huh?
I said, what a pig.
Big bowls, too. Yeah, well, but that would be the whole lunch.
No wonder you got fat.
Schmuck. To celebrate, Dollar Mattress and Simmons are offering the lowest price of the year on the best-selling Simmons Beauty Rest Pillow Top. You can choose from South Florida's biggest selection of Simmons Beauty Rest with same-day delivery like always. And if you're finally ready for a good night's sleep, it's about time you picked up that phone and did the smart thing, like I've been doing for years. Call Dollar Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS for factory direct prices and award-winning service. No nonsense, no BS, no rip-offs, no off-brands that nobody ever heard of. Dollar Mattress has got 12-month financing, and with your Dollar Mattress, all you do is pick the date and time you want that new mattress delivered, and they show up on time. 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. You pick the 2-hour window, like noon to 2, 1 to 3, etc., and they're there. Even the very same day that you call. In other words, if you call right now, you can be sleeping like a baby as soon as tonight. That's why Dollar Mattress is ranked #1 in customer satisfaction, and why just about everybody with half a brain at QM uses Dollar Mattress, even people with lousy numbers. On the web, you can check them out at mattress.com, or better yet, pick up that phone right now and call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES. Leave off the last S because it stands for sensational, stupendous savings, and, of course, spokesman.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, God.
Stand on line at the cashier. Hear them whine.
I was in front of you, dear.
If you're young, you lose. I've got the Tamarack blues. All I heard today was,
Hey, get the hell out of my way!
Get up over here! Free pineapple scraps!
I got the Tamarack blues. So take a tip from me, my friend. If your life is near the end, between Commercial and West McNabb, you'll get the Tamarack blues.
#1 nice guy in the Radio Ranch, Bill Marshall, it says. I just looked up WMRR, which was in Marshall, Michigan. I worked there in 1965 with Johnny Meter. And now it's 107.1 WMRR. I have no idea where. Maybe I ought to just click on it. 101.7 WMRR. I think it's in Philly, I do believe. Now, is that the same Bill Marshall, or can't be? Can it? Isn't he dead?
I don't know.
Joey Reynolds, left hand and right hand, and...
Well, I don't think he's dead.
Who, Joey?
Bill Marshall.
How could you tell? Let's see, 101.7. Well, they got a pretty nice website. Boy, it's sure nicer than the QM website. Oh, I'm sorry. Josh is working feverishly to improve that QM website. He realizes that was really a piece of crap. That's because he got off of that thing for a long time, right?
That's right.
And once he left it, they just... Kind of like the schedule that Clarence can't even make up right with all these wrong hockey games. Panthers at Washington my ass last night. What is that all about? And I knew I knew they were home. I just forgot who they were playing. So I just kind of let it slide. I should have ripped him an ass. But then again, he's got those numbers to deal with. Now, what's this thing? What?
I finally just found
Bill Marshall. All right. For any of the real radio groupies, remember who he used to be on with?
I am that hemorrhoid.
On the Joey Reynolds show. In fact, Joey couldn't even open his own microphone. He just couldn't hit the button to turn the mic on. So Joey used to have to hit, Bill used to have to hit Joey's buttons. And you actually had to board out that show a couple of times.
Yeah, more than a couple. It was pretty brutal. Bill would also play the rim shots and things after Joey would crack a joke.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, no. Horn and
the
all.
Rim shots?
Oh, yeah. Like
yeah.
Joey would crack a lame joke and Bill would play that.
Oh, I thought you meant like the Rimmer shot.
Oh, yeah.
The Grim Rimmer. What's this thing you just faxed me? First, here's today's pool. Okay, see, you got me all out of order now. It's all because I'm so depressed about James Franco. I'll tell you one thing, on my wallpaper here on my computer, he looks pretty good.
Well, maybe he butched up.
If you'd ever watch Tristan and Isolde, if you'd ever get around to watching it.
I will.
See, what are all these faxes coming in you're sending me?
I don't know.
Another choice for today's pool, no worse than the rest? No, I don't think so. Well, what does that mean, no worse than the rest? That's lame. Don't you think?
Aren't they all thugs?
No.
Aren't all football teams?
Hurricane football's got a long history of thuggery and
I know
crap.
that.
You know that. Even you know the Gangsta Canes and the Fiesta Bowl and Jimmy Johnson and of course now that we got this old coot there to coach Larry Coker, who just turned 100, everyone wants to fire his ass. When are they going to fire him already, Josh?
Probably after this year.
If they lose another game, man, how many more girls teams they got on the schedule? Boy, they just squeaked by Duke. Now, how long is that suspension for, those 18 players? Just the one game?
Yeah, it was just one game.
Ah, come on. Let's get serious. Duke hasn't won a game since Jesus was an infant. That's how long it has been. And Duke, they had a chance to win there, I'm told, right at the end of the game. I didn't see none of it. I want any part of that crap.
Yeah, they were about to score, but the Canes picked it off.
They picked it. 921 votes on the poll already. We'll have over 1,000 again by 11 or shortly thereafter. By the way, here's the schedule today. We got Mad Dog at 2. I want everybody to be sure and listen to the rest of the schedule because we don't want to be the fall guys again. Every time we do well and the rest of the station sucks in the ratings, I get blamed for it. Well, if Neil would just be more supportive. I like Kenny Walker and I never laid eyes on him. I have no idea who he is, but he, sounds like somebody belongs on the air. Mm-hmm. He's at least a broadcaster,
Right.
And I like Bo Camper, too. He don't belong on the air, but I like him, okay? He's, boring. But anyway, we got the Kenny and Bo Morning Show, 7 to 10, Mad Dog at 2, the Power Hour with Hank and Mad Dog between 4 and 5. Now, that ought to be kicking ass. Are we getting the hourlies today from Clarence or anybody? I mean, from the summer book and not from one that was 100 years ago? Oh. Humper Solo between 5 and 7. If I was Hank, I'd be getting a lot more work on ESPN. Hurricane Hotline at Game Workshops at Sunset Place, 7 to 9. The Beast at GameWorks, 9 to 10. Oh, it's hurricane stuff. Well, that's good timing on the poll, Neil. You must have been psychic. Eddie K at 10, of course. Eddie is always rock solid. He's always right there. 921 votes. Which best describes the UM football program? Of no interest to me, 333. That's a good. I bet you George voted for that.
That's exactly what I voted for.
335. I think he voted 2 more times just now. A disgrace, 235. Dynasty, 105. A joke, 104. I hate this poll, 56, 5.9%. Exciting. Oh, those Canes, man, 43. Boring, 42. And thugs, we just put it on there, it's already got 14. Thugs. Which is shorthand for saying...
Hurricane f***ing blow!
Yeah. Now, what's this thing you just faxed me about jail guard dismissed after alleged wedgies for inmate?
It's about time they cracked down on wedgies.
It says a Martin County jail guard has been dismissed following reports he improperly touched inmates, administering a wedgie strong enough to break one inmate's underwear, according to investigatory documents. Where the hell did this come from? It's from Ed in Fort Lauderdale. Thanks a lot for the big news, Ed. It says Sheriff Robert Crowdy terminated Deputy Vincent, this has got a line through it, I can't read the name, Colazzo. Terminated his employment for a variety of schoolboy hijinks amounting to a violation of the Code of Ethics for Public Officers and Employees, according to a recently released report. Well, schoolboy hijinks, the fact of the matter is there are a lot of guys who never grow up. Am I right?
Right.
And, of course, then they listen to sports radio. Oh, just faxed me this thing. I know we got a 7-3. Just send the check, Clarence, okay? We already know what we got. It's the graph of the hour by hour. Now, actually, I may be able to figure out the hour by hour if I could read. No, I can't now, because this doesn't have shares. Oh, yeah, it does. This is it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No. I was looking at the graph with the big finger sticking up in the middle. I
Yeah.
think that's Clarence's message to us, me in particular, is that big finger sticking up in the middle. I wish we ought to put this on the website.
I think we can.
1 to 5 a.m. we got a 0.9%. Well, that's that crap we put on there, which used to be Sporting News Radio, now it's ESPN Radio. The other guys went belly up or something, didn't they? Josh?
Yes.
Sporting News Radio, they went belly up. So we got a 0.9. 5 to 8 in the morning, or 5 to 6 in the... See, there's another typo. It says 5 to 8, I'm sure, but it should say 5 to 6. We got a 1 point.
Oh.
That's the big...
Rock solid.
who really takes himself very seriously. He's the only one who does, obviously, because 6 o'clock he's got a 1-1. Then now this is the summer book in men. 7 to 10, we got 2-3, a 2-4, and a 2-2. It may not be good, but at least it's consistent. We go from a 2.2 share at 9 to a 7 point at 10. How do you like that? Then an 8.1 at 11. A noon to 1, we got a 6.7, 1 to 2, a 7.4, 2 to 3, a 2-4, which may not sound like much, but it's sure better than the ones we were doing there when we had certain people on there and doing 2 to 4. And that's because the Mad Dog, a month of this is the Mad Dog. 2 to 3, we got a 2-4, then 3 to 4, pretty weak, a 1-9. Then 4 o'clock, the humper comes on with a 2-3, a 2-7, and a 1-9 between 6 and 7, a 1-9. Oh, man. You know what that probably is? I don't know what that is. It sucks. 7 to 8, we got a 2. Well, this is a little Marlin stuff. 8 to 9, a 2-7, 9 to 10, a 1-8. 10 o'clock, we got a 4.8. See, Eddie K comes on, and it goes zooming up there. 11 o'clock, we got a 5-8. And midnight to 1 in the morning, a 5-7. So Eddie is the only guy on the station besides us that breaks a 3 share anywhere. That cracks a 3. Isn't that amazing? Oh, no. Woo! Oh, I never got back to my wedgie story. Well, I'll save it for a second. So there you go. There's the hourlies for those who keep track of all those ratings, man. Now, when is the new morning show starting? When do you think that's going to happen?
On which station?
Oh, anyone. Don't know. Let's see. Is today the day that Stern... No, it's tomorrow and Thursday, isn't it? That Stern is doing the freebie thing?
Boy, you're the only one promoting him in this town.
I beg your pardon?
I don't hear anybody talking about
Eric Mancow Muller has lost his L.A. affiliate but picks up 3 new markets. Why did you send me this?
Because that might have to do with this market.
Oh, on the newly flipped WMAN. Did I talk about that yesterday? Man Talk 640. According to wannabe radio person Steve Lappa. Hey, Steve, you're to radio what Clarence is to hemorrhoids, Quit the crap. Mancow, new affiliates for the Mancow and the morning show. That'd be a good lead-in for us. But he's on WMAN. Man Talk 640.
Mm-hmm. That might be a good station to be on.
An issue-oriented station that gives listeners an alternative to political talk. What does that mean?
I don't know. Do they give you an alternative to sports talk?
I sure hope so. 28 past 10 at 560 WQM. Here's an alternative to getting ripped off when you buy your new Chevy, and that is go over and see my good buddies at Lou Backroad Chevrolet, man. You'll never get ripped off there. I've been doing business with these people for over 20 years. I bought about 4 billion cars from them. In fact, once upon a time, the new Vets had just come out. Maybe you remember this. And Lou Backroad, actually, he had the very first one, and he let me buy it because it was the color I wanted, and it was the model and the whole deal, Mm-hmm. It was loaded. And, of course, you know me and Vets. I love them like crazy. Anyway, the service, the salespeople, selection of cars at Lou Backroad are top-notch. Their unbeatable prices is what make them legendary, including with me. And right now, it's Lou Backroad's Chevrolet's Race to 1,000. For the first time in their history, they've got the largest selection of new and used cars, including the hot new Vets, trucks, SUVs, minivans, anywhere around. They've also got used cars starting at $39.95. Every one of their used vehicles backed by a Carfax guarantee, too. Lou Backroad is out to sell 1,000 cars this month, and they're staying open until midnight every night to get to that 1,000 number. Forget the price. Make them an offer they can't refuse, and they'll beat any deal, that's for sure. More money for your trade, 0% financing, rebates up to $6,000, whatever it takes, they'll put you in the car of your choice. Only at Lou Backroad Chevrolet, 2 locations for you. They're in Pompano Beach, a quarter mile west of I-95, and they're in Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Sawgrass Expressway. Don't forget, they're staying open till midnight every night, so get your ass over to Lou Backroad right now and get the best deal you ever heard of in your life on a great new Chevy, or check them on the wicked web at Lou Backroad. That's BACHRODT, LouBackroad.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil God. In music stores now, George Bush sings the Beatles.
Help, I need somebody. Help, anybody. Help. That's right. That's right.
George Bush sings the Beatles.
Abu Gar. Well, life goes on.
Special bonus track featuring Linda McCartney. Dream Vomit Bag with every purchase.
So this is really something, this, and of course they obviously sent this along so that we would put it on the air, you know.
Okay.
Everybody wants to use this show to promote the other stations in town, which is fine with me. I never worry about that. Who cares? Now, how come we didn't get the Man-Cow Madhouse?
It's not a sports show.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. If we could just have like 15 more stations doing sports talk, you can just imagine how many more people will be attracted to sports talk.
Got 30, man.
So that's like 2 a station.
Quadruple our numbers.
Can we get back to the wedgie guy?
Could we?
Sheriff Crowder takes seriously any code of ethics charge, very seriously. This is in Stewart, by the way, because that's where the public trust comes in. Sheriff spokeswoman Lieutenant Janelle Atlas said last Thursday, inmates are the public, and we're supposed to serve them as well. Among other mischief, Colazzo reportedly gave Jerome Turner 3 pair of underwear inscribed with a name that sounds like a salacious request. Colazzo, or is that Cayazzo? Has it got an L or an I on it? I can't read this. It's bad copy. Reportedly destroyed Turner's underwear when he grabbed him sometime in May. Deputy Cazzo snuck up behind Jerome Turner, grabbed his underwear, and proceeded to pull them up in a wedgie hard enough to rip them. Inmate Dale Nielsen wrote in a statement submitted June 20th. Other inmates' statements also allege that Colazzo, or whatever this guy's name is, had a penchant for grabbing buttocks and twisting nipples.
Rectum.
How do you like that?
I hate that.
But the deputy's done a lot of unusual things I've seen with my own eyes, Turner wrote in his own statement dated June 20th. Cayazzo's employment benefits, life and health insurance, and uniform were cut off September 30th. He can appeal Crowder's decision to the deputies' union. Okay, well, we don't care about the rest of that. That's he should be yanking on them nipples and butts and stuff like that.
No.
961 votes on the poll. 20 say the Hurricanes are thugs. Boy, I'm going to treasure this with this big finger stuck on it. Now, how come we don't have the Man-Cow as a lead-in? I bet you they get a number on this station. I just Googled 640 WMAN.
Yeah.
So I guess the station in Columbus, Ohio must have either changed their call letters or format or something, because the only one I find is in Columbus, Ohio, WMAN.
It's a good call letters.
Yeah, Man Talk.
Yeah, man.
640 WMAN. All right. Well, now, when's this going to start?
Don't know.
Oh. Let's see. Didn't say nothing here. Steve Lappa says Man-Cow is the perfect lead-off to an issue-oriented station that gives listeners an alternative to political talk. Boy, I'm scared now. Woo! What are we going to do? Let's wring our hands and wail. What are we going to do? What are we going to do now that they got another station on there, a real man show, not some fag, not some old fat fag that's oogling over James Franco who don't look that good anyway.
I know what you can do.
I'm embarrassed. I really am, because usually my taste in human flesh is impeccable, and then when I see him in that Spider-Man looking scrawny and I wouldn't touch him with your tongue. How do you like that?
Well, thanks.
965 votes on the poll. We'll have that 1,000 by the end of the hour. My phone is ringing, which either means the Boca Brian disc is down there, or maybe it's your buddy calling again. With more information. Key Largo, this is kind of an interesting story. Not like overwhelmingly, but kind of amusing. Ray Truckee Jr. and Lisa LaGrassa. Oh, I wonder if she's related to Jackie Ingrassa, or her name is LaGrassa. I wonder if she's kin to Emerald Lagasse. They were fishing for hours, didn't catch anything in Key Largo except a drowning dog. Motoring their 23-foot fishing boat earlier this month on Florida Bay, the two hit something unusual, turned around to check. As we came back upon it, I realized it was a little fat dog, said Truckee of Manchester, Mass. A little fat dog. It was having trouble keeping its head above water. Its big eyes were looking at us. It was almost as if it was saying, "Don't leave me here, please." The couple leaned over the boat and made their only catch of the day, a 5-year-old Cairn Terrier named Tigger, the Key West Citizen reported Monday. Tigger was apparently thrown from Diane and Richard Beckman's boat on their way from Key Largo to Marathon. Evidently, the dog did what the hell was her name? Robert Wagner's wife?
Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood. Sorry, Natalie, that's in bad taste. The Beckman searched frantically. We used to have a great Bob and Tom bit on Natalie Wood. Remember that, about her washing, doing the wash or something like that? Remember that?
Yeah.
How come we don't have Bob and Tom on anymore? I'm sorry. It's not a sports show, I know.
No.
Now I'm going to get accused of picking on Kenny, and I don't want to do that. It's your fault.
You know,
blame
you
George,
supported
Kenny.
that
He's
show.
the anti-sports guy. If you even watch a ball game once in a while, give it a chance instead of being such a hard ass, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Watch the Hurricanes play against some little girls' school and get into a big brawl again.
Well, if they could promise that kind of a performance every week, then I'd be there.
The Beckman searched frantically for 2.5 hours with no sign of the dog. We went back and forth, Diane said. Finally, we just gave up because we thought he couldn't have survived in the water for that long. I was just heartbroken. They thought he was dead. Since there was no answer at the home listed on Tigger's tag, Truckee and La Grasse had dropped him off at the Upper Keys Animal Shelter. Diane was elated when she got home and listened to her messages. She went quickly to pick up Tigger. Maybe that was what my phone was ringing just now. Maybe it was about Tigger. Or maybe Tiny made it come back, but I doubt it. He didn't know me. He was so terrified. As soon as he realized it was me, he jumped in my arms and wouldn't let go, she said. He didn't know me? Must be a pretty dumb dog, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he just don't like her. Maybe that's what it really is. Maybe he can't stand that bitch. In fact, maybe that's why he jumped overboard. Maybe that's what happened with Natalie Wood.
That's possible.
Maybe she got sick and tired of Bob Wagner and his wooden personality. Maybe she got tired of his wood. 1 in 5 Americans believe the U.S. is winning the war in Iraq, according to a poll. The number has dropped by half since December. 1 in 5.
Oh.
About the same number, 18% believe insurgents are winning, but the majority, 60%, say no one is winning in Iraq. There are no winners in that fight. That dog won't hunt. A poll of that's another one of them expressions. Isn't that a redneck expression, that dog won't hunt? Like a Texas expression.
Must be Texas, because I've never heard it.
Well, there's an old saying in Tennessee, and I'm sure they have it up here, too, in Texas, that is, fool me once.
What?
Can't get fooled again. Boy, he's just hard to like that guy. Somebody I really like.
6 by bone fur, in the tail, right?
And now that I know that Vern Troyer was born in Sturgis, Michigan, yeah, he's a hoot. Of course, he didn't write the material, but it's just that, being the midget that he is, he's a midget. 64% of this in the new poll oppose the war in Iraq. 57% want the U.S. to announce it'll pull out all troops by a certain date. Like by tomorrow would be good, so we don't have any more dead people or wounded, dismembered, and yada, yada, yada. So there you go. That's the latest on that. This is quite an article here. Ex-CIA and Marine intelligence officer says 9/11 was an inside job. You don't think I'm going to read that, do you?
Would you?
Yes, I am.
All right.
And a new poll, oh my God, they must be finding out that Charlie Crist is gay. Huh? Which wouldn't make any difference except to them good religious Bible thumpers.
Right, the people he wants to vote for.
In the wake of the Mark Foley business, everybody in Florida wants to vote for a gay gubernatorial candidate, for a gay goober. And now, Crist had a huge lead just, remember that a week or two ago, whenever the hell I was on? And now it's like neck and neck, nose to nose.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Get in and hold it.
Well, I hate what they're doing on QAM. Put that faggot back on again.
Yes.
I want what they had before. He's not my kind of guy. What the hell are they doing anyway? With the manly-sounding guy who's really gay. I want more of Chris Moore, cause his voice is real high. When I listen to the sports, a manly voice won't get my attention. But what really gets me sniffing the shorts, a squeaky high voice will give me an erection. Well, I hate what they're doing on QAM. Putting that faggot back on again. I'm going to miss hearing straight men with voices this high. Now I'll have to get deeper in the closet again so I can impress all the macho friends. Check out Chris Moore at night to help me pay the side. Yeah, there ain't nothing like having macho sports guys whose voices haven't cracked since they were 12 years old. Kind of like that. Yeah, stand up real close to the radio and press us on and get their voices on up there. Really makes my balls tingle here. And that Crow, man, well, he's smarter than my inbred brother. Yup.
Oh, Crow, won't see him no more. No more. 10:46. So what's the story on that 6:40? The man talk. I bet you that would Norma Kent probably put Steve Lapp up to that. Maybe Norma faxed it.
Supposedly it's supposed to be WMEN.
Oh, well, didn't that fax say WMAN?
That's what the fax said, but you know how things go.
Oh, that was FMQB. Well, they wouldn't make a mistake, would they? Well, let's see. Let me try it again. WMEN. Okay, I'm googling it. And then, you know what it says? Did you mean WMAN radio? No, I don't mean that.
I don't know if they exist yet, do they?
I guess not. I don't know.
Maybe
I'm trying to find out something about it so I can give them some promotion. I just don't understand. If Mancow is like, expanding his syndication, how come we didn't pick that up? What? I don't know what you're laughing about. We had a .9 in September, man. We got a lead-in from hell, and Bill Camper was running around in the hallway out there bad-mouthing us about how we're the anti-sports crew, and, we always talk nice about him and that cow in front of University Dodge, didn't we?
Yeah.
Trying to be good guys. Anyway, Steve Watson on Prison Planet writes, ex-CIA and Marine intelligence officer says 9/11 was an inside job.
Oh, no, not more of this conspiracy business.
An important story that broke over the weekend. Now, what did you just fax me?
Oh, no. Just a comment about that whatever.
This is exciting, by the way, that we can actually fax and print and all at the same time.
You just got to move it to your lap so you don't have to groan every time you get a fax.
The website for the new 640 radio station is still WJNA. This is a Palm Beach station. Get out of here.
Oh, Miami station.
It says also I noticed there's another station on the air, 1080 WTPS. WTPS, that's another station I worked at in Kalamazoo, man, in Portage, Michigan. All these call letter changes that keep moving around, which appears to be Black Talk Radio. They have Al Sharpton on there. So now QM's not only losing their straight men, but also their black listeners. Sounds like a good time to sell. That must be from Joel. Yeah, sell this, Joel. Sell your...
Rectum.
If anybody's got some spare change out there. Although Joel said every time he stands up, like Meg Green, the change falls out. An important story that broke over the weekend and may not have been widely picked up was that another former U.S. intelligence insider has turned whistleblower and concedes that the 9/11 attacks represent a neoconservative, neo-Nazi coup d'etat. That sounds like something I've been saying.
Huh.
In a review of Webster Tarpley's 9/11 Synthetic Terror, made in the USA for Amazon, Steele contends that the book is the strongest of the 770-plus books I've reviewed. Webster Tarpley's 9/11 Synthetic Terror, made in the USA. Steele goes on, I'm forced to conclude that 9/11 was at a minimum allowed to happen as a pretext for war, and I'm forced to conclude that there is sufficient evidence to indict, not necessarily convict, Karl Rove, Dick Cheney, and others of a neoconservative, neo-Nazi coup d'etat and kick off the clash of civilizations. Most fascinatingly, the author links Samuel Huntington, author of Clash of Civilizations, with Leo Strauss, the connecting rod between Nazi fascists and the neocons. Steele's biography is impressive. He was the second-ranking civilian in U.S. Marine Corps intelligence from 1988 to 92. He's a former clandestine services case officer for the CIA. He's the founder and president of Open Source Solutions, Inc., and is an acknowledged expert on computer and information vulnerabilities. Steele holds graduate degrees in international relations. Goes on and on. He did this, he had a bad BM last week. There's another example of how far the 9/11 Truth Movement has come over the past year. Before the 2004 election, Steele advocated the re-election of George W. Bush. Given what he knows now, I don't think that would still be the case, writes Steve Watson. Elementary Watson. Last month, we highlighted how Bill Christensen, a 28-year CIA career man, former National Intelligence Officer and Director of the CIA's Office of Regional and Political Analysis, had gone public to say 9/11 was an inside job. He said, along with 16-year CIA veteran Ray McGovern, this trio have a combined total of over 65 years in intelligence. It's safe to say they know a covert operation when they see one. Over the past couple of years, we've seen a deluge of former government and intelligence agency insiders to boldly go public with their doubts about the official story behind 9/11. This is very encouraging, says Steve, and sets the precedent for future whistleblowers who might be considering the same course of action. How do you like that? Huh? Mm-hmm. Short and sweet. Same course of...
Excellent.
There you go. Nice going, Alicia. You go, girl. 1,007 votes already. It's not even 10:51 yet. Just barely. How do you like that?
I like it.
So it's WMEN and WTPS and WSTR and WMRR and WGBS and WOFF and all this other crap?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, all you kids out there, take your radio and put it in the toilet and flush it. When in doubt, flush it out. How come we didn't get Man-Cow? I don't know why you laugh every time I say that. Is Josh tickling you like with a feather now or something?
That's right. It's a very long feather on a stick.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, I'll stick it. I don't get it. But anyway, that's WJ. So in other words, WJNA. Let me Google that, okay?
Yeah.
Because this is
and
another one.
And they switch with JNO. I can't keep them separate anymore in my head.
That is exactly right. I was just going to say that. 640 WJNA. Let me put my glasses on so I can read this. See, they haven't even changed their website. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. 6 a.m. to noon, Man-Cow. They get it on for 6 hours. What the hell is that all about? Who ever heard of a 6-hour show? Wow. Noon to 3, Romy is back. Jim Rome. Oh, if he can get the same one share he had before, he'll be dangerous. 3 to 7, Don and Mike. Don and Mike? Can you believe that?
I believe it.
Don and Mike blow.
7 to 10, Tom Don't Like Us. Oh, talk about retreads. 10 at night to 1 in the morning, it's Rusty Humphreys. And from 1 to 4 in the morning, it's Tammy Bruce. I bet you she's kin to Gary Bruce. On the air comes starting October 23rd. Well, that was yesterday, so they must be doing it right now, 640. Tune over there, guys, and see what they're doing, and then let us know. Man-Cow must still be on right now. How can we have any audience if Man-Cow is on from 6 to noon? Have you ever heard him?
Yeah, well, I hear the bits. We played the bits, and I've heard little snippets of the show.
You snipped it?
Yeah.
And
his
funny?
bits are funny. I mean, I'd give it a shot. We play lots of his funny bits.
Well, I'll give it a shot. How do you like that? So Steve Lappa and Norm Kent are getting together to try to stick it to Joe Bell. That sounds like a real... Their signal, it's got like about, how many watts? 4 watts?
Okay.
I would say like...
About 30, man.
30 watts. 640 my ass. I mean, are you kidding me?
Is that how
and
much
they got Roll Me back on there again. Another stupid-ass sports show. What is wrong with you, Lappa? I thought the thing before said an alternative.
It's a political talk.
Oh, but not to sports talk.
Well, who wants an alternative to that?
Well, let me ask you this, if that's what it's all about. How about them Dolphins?
Oh!
How about those Canes?
Oh!
How about those Panthers?
Oh!
Well, I watched some of that game last night, man. You could have gone bowling in that arena, man. There was nobody there. And then when it got to be about 5 minutes left in the game, they vamoosed out of there like there was a aerial attack. Ariel Sharon just fell through the roof or something. By the way, how come we haven't heard about him being dead yet?
Is he dead?
Hasn't he got to be dead, Ariel Sharon?
I don't know.
1,021 votes on the poll. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. We don't have too many hurricane boosters out there. Which best describes the UM football program? Of no interest to me, 352. Disgrace, 251. A dynasty, 114. A joke, 110. I hate this poll, only 63, 6%. That's high. Exciting, 51. Boring, 45. That's kind of like a washout. And a bunch of thugs, 35. 35 said UM football program best described as thugs. Thuggery, Donna Shillelagh. Yeah. Let's put up a bunch of billboards that says the Canes don't have balls. You think she'd get bent out of shape about that? Oh, that's disgusting. Silly old dyke. Afghan militants are planning to launch deadly attacks on civilians in Europe in revenge for the 2001 invasion by U.S.-led forces, a Taliban commander said on Sky News television yesterday. Mullah Mohammed Amin. I wonder if he's kin to Idi Amin Dada. Said resurgent militants had built up stockpiles of weapons and were bent on vengeance against the foreign invaders. The Taliban, overthrown by the invasion, now wanted to export terror to the West, he said. It's acceptable to kill ordinary people in Europe because these are the people who have voted in the government, he said. Yeah, they stuck those bastards in, and they hit us, we hit them back. They came to our home, attacked our women and children, he added. The ordinary people in these countries are behind this, so we will not spare them. We will kill them, kill their children, and laugh over them like they're killing us and laughing at us. Amin said the Taliban was inspired by tactics used by insurgents in Iraq, namely remote-controlled bombs, landmines, and suicide bombers. All of these things. They are our best tactic, he said. Fighters were sheltering in Pakistan and being aided by sympathetic locals, he said in an interview. In Pakistan, that's right. They're the ones that invented the Taliban. And the Saudis are the ones that invented those madrasas, those schools where they rock back and forth, whatever they're hawking in Arabic. Not quite that, but close. What do they say? Allah Akbar, whatever that is?
You're asking me?
Yeah, you're supposed to know your Arabic, mister. You better get with these things. That's the language we're all going to be speaking pretty soon.
If you say so.
You think this Hispanic crap, you think speaking the Pica de Pani in the South Florida, forget about that. Get with the program, man. Start speaking Arabic. This thing about Charlie Crist's big lead evaporating, that's some good news, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Great news.
Because who the hell ever heard of Jim Davis? Would you know something? Maybe that's the best thing he's got going.
The biggest names, the best talent.
Don't tell me that Charlie Crist is gay.
Sports Radio 560 UAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
That guy up there in section 36. He's got a Met jersey on and he brought his own glove. You better turn your offense to score 1,000,000 runs. If you can't pay, you're on the injured list. Rotations all played out. Willie and the Mets. Boy, was wonderful. Now Willie, it's plain to see. Your pitching staff makes them laugh. Won't be around to play the Yankees. Oh no, Willie and the Mets. Willie and the Mets.
this incestuous relationship that Norma Kent has with Steve Lappa over there at James Crystal Radio sounds like a conflict of interest to me.
Does it?
Yeah, sounds like a big lawsuit.
Oh, we might have to go work over there someday, so you know.
Anyway, David Citron, who fancies himself as a radio guru, have you ever seen his website, The History of South Florida Radio?
No.
Pretty weak. But anyway, he's got this column, WJNO, WBZT, and WJNA. Why do these stations keep switching frequencies? And this was posted October of 2002. Since then, how many times have they switched these around?
About 30, man.
They're like pieces on a Monopoly board.
Mm-hmm. Like that shell game.
This is by Alan Diskin, host of Radio Rewound, this article. Why do these stations keep switching frequencies? This has nothing to do with the governor's rail. I'll get to that eventually. We got a lot of time, okay? We got 4 full hours today, not 6 hours like Mancow. How come we didn't get that show? Jesus Christ. As a former Clear Channel employee, says Alan, and nobody ever heard of him. You ever hear of Alan Diskin? Don't be dissing Alan Diskin.
Who?
He said he was privy to some information generally not publicized to many. Now, there's a paragraph I can't read because there's a picture of Super Talk superimposed over here over one paragraph. He said the switching of frequencies for WJNO, WBZT, and WJNA came about for several reasons, as we're told to me, whether this was the official corporate answer or just perhaps a local management response to satisfy the curiosity of the local cheap channel employees. I can't swear to the validity of this information. I'm only conveying management's response, he says. And then it goes on about WJNO 1230 with a 1,000-watt signal based in West Palm Beach, combined with a repeater tower in Pompano Beach, 1040 AM, a 50,000-watt signal based in Boynton Beach, have been independently owned and known as WFXY. Editor's note, remember Foxy 1040, remember that?
No.
Clear Channel bought WFXY, moved WJNO to that frequency. The 1230 frequency was bought by the James Crystal Radio Group, and the call letters WJNA were created. Not to be confused with WJNO, but WJNA. Very creative, Steve. WJNO AM 1040 and WBZT AM 1290, both Clear Channel properties, were and still are stations programmed to cover the West Palm Beach, Boca area, as well as a portion of the Treasure Coast market. These AM news, talk, and sports stations had such strong signal reach, however, they actually were covering most of the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood market, ! Writes Alan Diskin. Clear Channel also owns WIOD and WINZ news, talk, and sports stations programmed to cover the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood market, actually reaching and blanketing the West Palm Boca market. Most of the programming of these 4 stations is replicated in both markets, meaning listeners in both markets could tune into several Clear Channel stations and hear many of the same programs. That's what happens when 3 companies own 90% of the stations on the air, when your radio dial is turned into a lottery for a bunch of grave-robbing bastards who wouldn't know a radio if you stuffed it up their ass. It's important to know the relevance of markets. This is pretty boring, actually. I thought maybe this would shed some light on this whole thing. It says, without getting into a lot of intimate details I wouldn't know about anyway, the James Crystal Radio Group and Clear Channel struck a deal. WLRX-FM 92.1 and the AM frequency of 1230 owned by James Crystal will be swapped for the AM frequency of 1040. There may well have been some cash involved also, he says. This satisfied Clear Channel's needs for another FM, and they could keep their AM stations more local. James Crystal picked up a powerful AM frequency that boosted WJNA signal coverage and market reach and could command more large agency buys. WJNO has moved to 1290, a 10,000-watt powerful but sometimes spotty frequency. WBZT moved to 1230 and blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't have any idea what he's talking about. They just keep shuffling them around like cards on a deck. Just a bunch of crap is what it is. Did you follow any of that?
What?
So how come we didn't get that Mancow show? God, am I pissed off about that. I'm going to tell you, man, this Joe Bell, he puts on an act like he's a good guy, and he came in here this morning and kissy, kissy, kissy and all of that, but he's a day late and $45,000 short, if you ask me. I mean, when you got in September, when our morning show did a 0.9, there is something really, and when the Big O did a
rock solid
0.5 in 5 to 7, where's that thing you sent me with a finger?
Oh, it's over there.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the graph, the rating one, not just the one with your personal sentiments. Maybe I already Schmidt canned that, you think? See, the problem is, these last couple of days, I just have too much paperwork here.
I keep these, so.
Oh, there's the one about Mancow ads, Miami, Cincinnati, and Reno. Oh, here's the finger. Here's the finger. It felt like a finger. Well, they got 2s anyway. I mean, it's, although I don't know what they did in September. Can you imagine if you have a 0.9? I'm just wondering if they cracked they must have cracked a 1 somewhere in there, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, they cracked.
Don't start picking on Bo Camper now. He'll come in and squash you like a gnat. Oh, there's a Miss Mark Potter on there. Look at that. In Sarasota. I wonder what she's babbling about. Oh, she's gone already. 1,051 votes. What best describes the UM football program? Of no interest to me, 356. A disgrace, 253. A dynasty, 117. Dynasty, my ass. Isn't that what Joan Collins said?
Mm-hmm.
A joke 112. I hate this poll 56. Exciting, or 66. Exciting 56. Boring 47. And thugs 44. That came out of nowhere from a listener suggestion. Thugs. Gangstas. It's gangsta ball, baby. The team sucks, so let's goon it up, you know? If you can't win, goon it up. Like in hockey. And if your team sucks, just go out there and get into a bunch of brawls. Right?
Absolutely.
By the way, the Panthers did not play at Washington like now. Did Clarence come in there and apologize for screwing up the hockey schedule and being such a jerk?
No.
Idiot.
You fairy.
Oh, speaking of that, new poll gives Christ a negligible lead over Davis. Wow. Florida's lopsided contest for governor has suddenly become a dead heat, according to a new poll at Booster Stakes. For tonight. Is tonight the debate? Tonight's first televised debate between Republican Charlie Crist, Democrat Jim Davis. The first thing Jim Davis ought to say is to Charlie Crist,
you fairy.
Yeah, but not that he ought to bring that up. Just look at him in the eye and say,
you fairy.
You think that might throw him off guard a little bit?
Might.
That would be fun. And look at this. Even that right-wing Joe Scarborough's on MSNBC saying the Foley scandal could discourage some right-wing nutjobs from voting at all. They're going to stay home and thump on their Bible or thump on something. Miss Foley, she'll be thumping on some page. The surprising results energized the longtime underdog Davis, now trailing by only 2 percentage points in a Quinnipiac University survey, and put Crist on the defensive.
Gay.
Nearly every other poll showed a double-digit gap. Remember Gary Puckett in the Union Gap?
Sure I do.
Oh, you're not going to play that again. You already played it. That was 2 weeks ago. Don't do it. This new poll makes the debate a much bigger deal. It should affect their strategy, said Quinnipiac pollster Peter Brown. Oh. It'll force both of them to reassess what they're going to do, not just in tonight's debate, but what their strategy is for the final 2 weeks of the campaign. Election day is 2 weeks from today. That's why we need a lot more non-political talk on the radio. Oh! Man talk for real men. Right?
Right.
Candidates will be grilled on the issues during the 1-hour live debate to be broadcast on public television stations statewide tonight. Both Crist and Davis have spent much of the campaign vowing to lower homeowners' insurance costs, cut property taxes, and improve education, but they've been vague on many of the fine points. Crist had 46% of the vote in the Quinnipiac poll. Davis had 44%, well within the poll's margin of error of 3.4%. In other words, a statistical dead heat, a tie, nose to nose, ass to ass. The same poll 2 weeks ago found Crist with a 10-point lead, not no mo. The race tightened largely because of a massive 21-point shift by independent voters to Davis. Another encouraging trend for Davis, the percentage of voters who said they didn't know enough about him dropped from 57% to 23% over the past 2 weeks. There's only one answer, television, Brown said. Davis was late going on the air because he didn't have as much money. He hasn't made the sale yet, and he's still behind, but he's put himself back in the ball game. Wouldn't that be something if Charlie Crist got his ass whipped? Wouldn't be the first time. And like the priest said, I thought he enjoyed it.
That's what I heard.
Davis launched an own convention. How come we didn't get that damn Man Cow show? Christ. Oh, there he goes again with that Charlie Christ. No, Charlie Christ. Davis launched an unconventional ad campaign 2 weeks ago that eschewed the traditional and more expensive 30-second ads in exchange for a series of 15-second ads touting his position on 3 key issues: property taxes, insurance, and school FCAT test. How come we're not running those spots? What are we, like chopped liver or something?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they assume that the Neil Rogers audience is all going to go out and vote for Jim Davis. We can only pray.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Crist, by contrast, has unleashed a barrage of 30-second ads since the primary, with his 8th launched yesterday, all paid for by the Republican Party. The ads have boosted Crist's name recognition while criticizing Davis as a do-nothing congressman and defending him for having the second-worst attendance record this term. But at least he ain't gay. You know, he had buddies with Mark Foley, Jim Davis, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't any of those big gay parties. Now, look, Charlie Crist may be a real upstanding guy for all we know. Who the hell knows? Oh, I doubt it. He may be a stand-up guy. Or he may be a lay-down guy for all we know. A lay-down gay guy. Hey, isn't this guy talk? It's guy talk, folks. Sure. It's man talk. Don't get sucked in by that other stuff. Isn't that something? They still got WGN. And maybe Josh can go over there and spruce up their website for them. Put the real call letters on now.
No, I'm all set.
WMEN. Men 640. Foxy 1040. That went over big. And then what was the woman's station? Remember that abortion?
WOMEN. I don't know.
No, didn't you remember? It was Cheap Channel. They took She.
They took her?
They took She and they turned it into, was going to be a station for women.
That Planet or whatever.
The Planet, that's it. They thought it was going to be Saturn and it turned out to be more like Uranus. It sucked. It was bad. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that's long gone. All these people, all these dabblers and dibblers and intruders and all these mavens and experts, everybody's a radio expert, baby. I got news for you. I've been doing it for 150 years already, including 120 in this market. I haven't met too many radio experts. There was Dick Casper, and then there was, who else?
You're asking me?
About it.
Think I met any of them?
He was the radio guy, man. He was a radio guy. Or as Tom Jicka would say, Rick Casper. Hey, Tom, you're an idiot. You're a bald-headed idiot. I'm so despondent about James Franco. It's like if you see somebody from a distance, you know, like you're in a shopping mall or somewhere.
Right.
And you see somebody, some hot number from a distance, or at least you think they're hot.
Yeah, and then they get closer and you realize it's a guy.
And you get closer and say, oh, geez, I wouldn't touch it with George's little finger.
Thank you.
Good from far, far from good.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Wow.
Well, not really very good.
Adequate.
So Josh likes Spider-Man, by the way. He's very picky with the movies, so I give it an 8. I thought it was
I'm
good.
very picky with movies?
Not like me.
You don't even stay awake if you don't like him. You fall asleep right in the middle of them.
Well, I'd like to be entertained when I watch one.
Well, this movie was pretty slow starting. I was thinking, boy, if Josh ever saw this, he's asleep by now. First 20 minutes of that thing. Huh?
Yeah. I like both of them. They were both very good.
The second
one is better? That's what George keeps telling me.
Yes, it is.
Now, did James Franco look any better in the second one, or he still looked the same, like anorexic and he could use a sandwich?
I didn't notice.
I noticed. That was the reason that I got you to send me the movie. I don't give a crap about Spider-Man, although it turned out to be pretty good. It was okay.
Kirsten looked good in both of them, even though she, well, I guess she does wear a wet dress in both of them. Yes.
Wet Willie?
Probably.
11:14 at 560 WQAM. Boy, oh boy, how did we not get that Man Cow show? It's enough to make me want to put on my New Balance shoes and walk right over to Brandy's. You know, it'd be a long walk, but I could start right now. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to start now after the break, and I'll be in touch with you when I get there. How's that? At Brandy's, they carry all the top name brands at unbeatable prices all the time. They got your Florsheim, Echo, Mephisto, Rockport, Hush Puppies, New Balance, like I just said, which I love New Balance, and tons of other top name brands in all sizes for men and women. No off brands, no BS. And they carry wide widths and hard-to-find sizes, too. So take your Tootsies to Brandy's. You'll see I've been raving about them for years. Go see our good buddy Arnie. He'll make sure you get the right fitting shoes at the right price every time. And don't forget, the only thing they do at Brandy's is shoes, so you never have to worry about size, selection, service, and certainly not about price. You'll find Brandy's at 1290 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach, right between Atlantic and Copans on the east side. You can't miss it. How did we not get that Man Cow show? Brandy's is open every day, Monday through Saturdays till 9, every Sunday till 5. And this week is a great time to buy SAS shoes at Brandy's. All great men's and women's styles are on sale. 20, 30,
about 30, man,
or even 40% off per pair. Save a ton of cash and get a fantastic selection. So be sure to get into Brandy's this week or do your shoe shopping right online at brandysshoes.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
For the great taste. Neil, this is Noodles, reminding you that it's always a good time for the great taste.
Absolutely.
Jumped in the taxi cab, I said, driver, Central Park. He looked at me so quizzically, I could tell he was in the dark. So I acted out my park charade, and with my arms the trees I made. Nobody speaks English anymore. I went down to Miami Beach where the weather is nice and sunny. I walked into a liquor store, but the guy there talks real funny. So I asked him for a pint of old Jim Beam. He says, "No entiendo." What does that mean? Nobody speaks English anymore. At the corner deli. Hell, I think I'm in Pakistan. Speak English, smelly. Or you can go back to Iran. I came here many years ago. Learned my ABCs. I don't say muchas gracias. I say pretty please. So get yourself to a classroom quick. You're in America now. Stop making me sick. Nobody speaks English anymore.
How come we didn't get the Don and Bob show? I'll be damned.
Who?
11:21. Bob and Tom. Don and Bob. See, I got Red Hots, White Hots on my mind. I got wieners on my mind.
I'll bet.
Anyway, I just read more of that crap about WJNA, and guess who used to work there? Mikey
Randy.
used to work there, and then he had the nerve to go off and die.
Randy.
And then they had Greg Budell, and guess who Greg Budell brought along with him? Give me one guess.
It's a good time.
Noodles.
For the great taste.
Noodles. Don Agony, an aptly named guy. And, of course, Greg Budell's always... Don't tell me Greg Budell got blown out for this new men format, huh? Wouldn't that be bad if he got blown out again for a bunch of men? Well, it's the ladies that like Greg Budell. I don't think they like him either. Hey, Greg, nobody likes you. What a boy, man. If ever anybody worked in this business who had loser written all over him, it was Greg Budell. Is that right or what?
No comment.
I just said it just because it aggravates him. You go, oh, gee, I'm going to take some pills or something.
I can't say other than the time that he was on your show. Remember
I never
that?
met him.
Remember that day?
I never met him. He was on my show?
He was on your show. I remember that day. Boy.
He was in the studio?
He was in the studio on the show with you because it was his big comeback into the market, and he was going to be going on another station somewhere, and I think, I don't know, Russ Oasis or somebody brought him in. Somebody else.
Oh, my God. Russ Oasis, who was bunk buddies with Joey?
Or whatever. Somebody brought him in. It was him and some other guy.
Don't you remember the time that Russ Oasis and Joey took me to dinner at that marginal Italian restaurant over there by the Amico station? And tried to talk me into going to Boy Gary and getting Rick and Suds fired so Joey could do afternoon drive. Remember that?
I do remember that.
And then they denied it and lied through their teeth about it?
Yeah.
Damn it! I got up and walked out of that thing, although the good thing is I was finished eating dinner and they paid for it.
Good.
You don't think I'm going to go to a free dinner and get up and walk out in the middle, do you?
I wouldn't imagine not.
Even I'm not that stupid. But anyway, they wanted me to get Rick and Suds. Well, Rick and Suds are bad, and the radio wars are big now, and whatever that means, the radio wars. And Joey wanted to do afternoons. Wanted me to go get him a job. Those are the days, weren't they?
Joey's days I've done.
Yeah. What a piece he was, Well, how did we get off out of this radio thing? It was that one fax that somebody, it was probably Fat Boy sent that, wouldn't you think?
No, it was a different format. And besides, Fat Boy emails, as you know.
Oh, he don't fax?
No.
Well, I told him no more emails, so maybe now he's just going to use the fax machine. I have no idea, but obviously somebody over there who wants to use the Neil Rogers Show to publicize their marginal format. How did we not get that show, though? The Seminole Tribe of Florida would have Las Vegas-style slot machines under proposed federal guidelines that could be issued next month, a development that boosts their push to get the same lucrative gambling devices as the Broward County pari-mutuels. The U.S. Department of Interior's decision to issue the regulations follows the tribe's failed negotiation attempts with the state, with your fat-ass governor, to get those traditional slot machines on. The immediate ramifications are unclear, especially the time frame that slots could start ringing at the 7 Seminole casinos. I feel it's significant because it's going to put us on an even footing as the non-Seminole gaming facilities, said Seminole Tribal Councilor Max Osceola. I remember a horse driven by Dwayne Dilworth called Chief Osceola at Jackson Harness Raceway 40 years ago. Aren't you excited about that?
I'm sorry that...
I bet on him and he won, Chief Osceola. The federal regulations would let the Seminoles have the slots at the 3 Broward casinos as well as their casinos in Immokalee, Clewiston, Okeechobee, and Tampa. The Seminoles currently have those Class 2 slot machines, those bingo-style devices. I still don't understand that. They want Class 3 machines like the ones in Vegas and Atlantic City, where the machines are individually programmed for payouts occasionally. The Seminoles have argued they're entitled to Class 3 slots under the Federal Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, which says tribes are allowed the same gambling options featured anywhere else in the state. In March 2005, as we know, people in approved the Vegas-style slots of the county's 4 pari-mutuels. And the tribe wants to install the traditional slots as soon as possible. We have to wait to see what happens, Osceola said. We don't know if any factors will interfere. Fat-ass Governor Bush, a staunch opponent of gambling, and the Seminoles cut off negotiations of the gaming compact in April, leaving the Seminoles to turn to the federal government. A compact agreement would allow the Seminoles to offer the Class 3, the real slot machines. In return, the state would have some regulation say-so and a cut of the revenue. They get a piece. A piece for the Corleones, a piece for this one. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He's dead.
Cake.
Now, I'm trying to think of, was it Al Pacino? That was his, he was Al Pacino's teacher in, what was that school he had? He had an acting school.
Diet.
You know what I'm talking about, the guy that played Hyman Roth.
Oh, Lee Strasberg.
Lee Strasberg. He's dead.
Yeah.
I guess it was the Lee Strasberg School. Didn't he used to sell, that was Lee Strasser, he used to sell at INZ or somewhere.
Who?
Well, I'll tell you, we've had more drifters come through this market, man. It's just unbelievable.
Carpetbaggers.
And the stations, the call letters keep changing, and you wonder why nobody listens to radio anymore. Who the hell knows who's on first? It's JNO and JNA and FTL and FLL, and then it's back to FTL again. And who's on first and who's on second. One thing about us here, man, we're rock solid right here.
Rock solid.
With big numbers in the midday. Rest of the day we suck, but then we'll come back, won't we?
Yeah, someday.
How did they get it and we didn't? That's what I'd like to know. Could you imagine Man Cow 6 to 10?
I imagine the kind of radio show that Kenny would like to do.
Yeah, like an entertainment show.
Like he used to do.
Right. as opposed to another sports show. I think he's been sandbagged, you know? I think Clarence is in there teabagging him.
Gonna miss him.
Yeah, it's been nice working with you, Kenny. You're a good guy. You seem like a real radio guy. And it's, you know, one thing to get screwed over at Y100. We're getting screwed over twice in a row. That's bad. It's only October 24th. He's got a long way to go.
Well, he's in radio. He's probably used to it.
No, he used to be in radio. Just like us. I'll tell you what I used to be doing, and is buying a lot of cars at Lou Backroad Chevrolet, and I still do every time I need one. In fact, the two vets I got right now, I bought at Lou Backroad. You ought to be doing the same because, man, they got the best selection. They treat you with velvet gloves. They give you great personal service, and their prices are always unbeatable, too. That's why I've been shopping at Lou Backroad Chevy for my vets and other cars for over 20 years now. And right now, it's Lou Backroad Chevy's Race to 1,000. For the first time in their history, they want to sell 1,000 cars this month. They've got the biggest selection of new and used cars, including the hot new Corvettes. If you never drove a Corvette, now I know George would like to take one of my vets and not bring it back, and probably Josh, too.
Sure, you got two.
It's like a dream, man. It's like having that power under your foot. Trucks, SUVs, minivans, they got the big selection, and they've also got used cars starting at just $39.95, every one of them backed by a Carfax guarantee, by the way. And Lou Backroad, like I said, is out to sell 1,000 cars this month, so they're staying open till midnight every night to get to that 1,000 number. Maybe they know why we didn't get Mancow. Forget the price. Make an offer at Lou Backroad. They'll beat any deal. More money for your trade. They give you 0% financing, rebates up to $6,000, whatever it takes. That's what they'll do to make that deal, to get to that 1,000. Just like us, you know, try to get to 1,000 during the show every day. We got 1,087, by the way. Only at Lou Backroad Chevrolet is this deal going on. Two locations for you in Pompano Beach, a quarter-mile west of I-95, and in Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Sawgrass Expressway. And don't forget, tonight and every night this month, they're staying open till midnight. So get over to Lou Backroad for an unbeatable deal, the best deal on a Chevy you ever got in your life, or check them on the wicked web at loubackroad.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560.
Rock solid.
Portholes are strange, they're never happy, never get laid and stay home all alone.
They sold this radio station, now the future is in doubt.
Oi!
We've been talking about Paxson's ever since Cox pulled out. Now we'll work for Texas. The man's a millionaire, gonna work for Paxson. He's like Wayne with more hair. You might think that it's a bummer when Phil Hendry's gone.
Are you sure?
Say goodbye to Aaron Summers. Say hi to Ron and Ron. They're gonna work for Paxson. That's a matter of fact. They're gonna work for Paxson, but Neil ain't changing his act. Paxson's a born-again Christian, righteous as he can be. He wants to change the station's letters to WGOD. Now we'll work for Paxson. He's the brand new boss. We're gonna work for Paxson. So make the sign of the cross.
I'm dying over here.
Hey, that's the last time I think we were like in a real radio station almost. Remember those days?
Sure, of course it is.
And Jack Mark, you know, that's what happens when you mess with the people, you know, bitching about for taking your parking spot.
That's
you
right.
die.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead.
It's karma.
Good. 26 till noon at QAM. Here's a fax from Michael that goes on at great length. We just whipped up about our pool today. That's good. 1,096 votes, by the way. It says there's an inaccuracy, possibly misleading in your poll. No, there's not. It says the poll is about University of Miami football. My question is, what is the difference between University of Miami football program and the rest of that so-called Institute of Higher Learning in general? All I can do is laugh, it says, to keep from crying when I hear people say they received an education at UM. There's no education to receive. The University of Miami consistently ranks near the bottom of the rankings in terms of quality of the business school, medical school, journalism program, history program, law school, science programs, etc. Even their marine science program is considered to be a joke. You'd think that marine science, of all things, would be the one thing they couldn't screw up, but lo and behold, it is. It is screwed up, I guess is what he means. Michael, you're just whipped up into a frenzy, man. Every publication that compiles these surveys and rankings generally concludes that when it comes to education, you're better off going to community college or enrolling in a correspondence course. I'm going to Miami-Dade myself, and I can't wait till they play the Hurricanes. Won't that be a good game, Josh?
Yeah, another
Let's
fight
wait till
probably.
you see the ball and the brawl break out. It says, seriously, in all respects, not just with the program, the University of Miami is a blight on the civilized world. I wouldn't hire someone with the University of Miami on their resume to pump gas, but hey, it's a Keynes thing. We wouldn't understand. Guess what, a-holes? I don't want to understand, Michael says. It's not personal, you past, present, and future U of M S-bags. It's business and personal. Do the world a favor and drop dead, violently. Or should I say, instead of dynasty, which is the only polysyllabic word University of Miami people know how to pronounce, just die nasty instead. It says, Neil, have a great day. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Whatever that means. Isn't that cute? That's sweet. Sunshine, sweet. Lollipops, and rainbows, as in...
Want a lollipop, little boy?
It says Michael, but I think Mark Foley may have written this. He's got a bug up his ass. 1,099 votes on the poll. Oh, speaking of elections, as if there weren't enough concern about the integrity of a vote, a nonpartisan civic organization yesterday claimed it had hacked into a voter database for the more than 1.35 million voters in the city of Chicago. Bob Wilson, an official with the Illinois Ballot Integrity Project, which bills itself as a not-for-profit civic organization dedicated to the correction of election system deficiencies, tells ABC News that last week his organization hacked the database, which contains detailed information about hundreds of thousands of Chicago voters, including their social security numbers, dates of birth, shoe size, etc. It was a serious identity theft problem, but also a problem that could potentially create problems with the election, Wilson said. A nefarious hacker could have changed every voter's status from active to inactive, which would have prevented them from voting, he said. Or we could have changed the information on what precinct you were in or what polling place you were supposed to go to, he said. So there were ways that we could potentially change the entire online database and disenfranchise voters throughout the entire city of Chicago. If we'd wanted to, we could have wiped the entire database out, he said. Tom Leach, a spokesman for the Chicago Election Board, tells ABC News the problem seems to have arisen because the city's dead. How did we not get that show? That's going to bother me all day long.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
What do I care? You know, we're just showing up every day and doing the best we can. That's all. We got a good loyal audience out there, and they keep pretending to listen to us, even if they don't. You know. Tom Leach, spokesman for the Chicago Election Board, tells ABC News the problem seems to have arisen because the city's database allowing voters to locate their voting precinct once asked voters for detailed information such as their social security numbers. Approximately 6 years ago, Leach said, when the website was updated requiring only name and address, city computer experts never cut the links to these social security numbers and the dates of birth. Leach said he doubted the Illinois Ballot Integrity Project could have disenfranchised voters or wiped out the database, but he and the election board were very concerned and had taken steps to remedy whatever problems exist, including bringing in an outside computer forensic expert to verify the database is secure and to ensure that no one had already hacked the database. Now, if Mancow is going to be on that station, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to lose the license pretty quick. Doesn't he do a lot of filthy stuff?
I don't know what he does anymore.
I thought he was on one of Howard's on Sirius, Mancow.
I don't know.
On one of his 80 million channels, no?
Last time I heard, they hated each other.
Really?
Don't you remember?
Well, no, I'm thinking about, from Tampa?
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Bubba the Love Sponge, there you go. From Tampa, who couldn't get another job on real radio, so he went on Howard's thing, you know. Howard, by the way, he'll be streaming it tomorrow and Thursday. Be there or be square. Yeah, listen to it for 2 days for free and then forget about it. As they're desperately trying to hype up, all the hype all the time. You got to hand him that, though. Haven't I always said that?
Yes, you have.
They're the hypesters, man. If he has a bad BM, it's on the front page of every newspaper all around the globe. Even in the North Pole, they're reading about it. Oh, gee, Howard had a bad BM this morning. What are we going to do about that? You know, if he farts the wrong flavor, or if his ex-wife puts antifreeze in his lime jello. 11:07 on the poll. Well, we're kicking ass on the poll. But now that we let the cat out of the bag about Mancow being on 640 on all men radio, it's for real men.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was that lineup again?
Oh, weak. Mancow
for 100 hours.
Get
Joyce Kaufman and Greg Budell back, then they'd have it licked. They'd be licking it. Let's see. Here we go. WJNA. I can't. Where the hell is their webpage? Where's their page? Here's the thing about Ranieri and Mo and Sally and Mo and Schmo. Where the hell is their... here's the JoyceKaufman.com.
Oh, boy.
Unforgettable WJNA. Royal Palm Beach. We want Ranieri back. That was tragic. We lose Ranieri, we lose Lassiter now, although Lassiter has been on the air for a long time. He was, smart enough to get out of the business. He wasn't smart enough to stop eating a long time ago, and that's why I say that should be a lesson to all of us diabetics. Quit the overeating. I had a pint of Haagen-Dazs yesterday.
I knew you would.
How'd you know that?
Because you said you were.
So all I talked about all day was ice cream.
All day long.
At 2 o'clock, I rushed over to the convenience store, and I got me a pint of Haagen-Dazs banana nut. I'm a banana nut.
Uh-huh.
There was a guy Saturday at Woodbine. There was What is it about the Italians who come to North America? I mean, the Italians who came to North America a long time ago, that was a different story. But now we got Guidos.
Yeah.
Aren't you pleased to know that we got Guidos in Canada, not just in the USA?
Serves you right.
And there was this guy and his very nasty wife. Oh, man, she was loud and she was as ugly as the day is long. She made me look good. She looked like my ass on a bad day. And they were playing a couple of machines, and, he was spoke perfect English. Obviously, he was born here. But then every now and then there were a couple of their paisans that showed up and playing down the row, and they're talking real loud in little Italiano, okay? Well, that ordinarily doesn't bother me, except this guy was trying to be cutesy Italian. He'd say, he'd get a spin, 50 bucks, 50 bananas, 50 banani. It just bugged me, In other words, make up your mind. Are you Italian? go to Roma, go to Firenze, be an Italian and be in Italy. Or do you want to be some kind of like a Guido, 50 banani my ass.
I'll bet.
He just kept saying that crap, and it just bugged the hell. Stop with the Guido talk already, will you?
No.
Almost like being in South Florida. Speak of the Inglés, baby. Speak of the Inglés. 11:09. Which best describes you in football program, and especially after that nasty Michael Fax that we got. Just hostile, ripping them an ass, and well-deserved, by the way. It's of no interest to me, 373. It's a disgrace, 264, Donna. Disgrace. A dynasty, 123. Boy, talk about living in the past. A joke, 114. I hate this poll, 68, 6%. I bet your man cow voted I hate this poll. Thugs is moving all the way up to 60. They're Googling on that. They're leaning on it. They're freeping it. Exciting, 58, and boring, 52. Especially when they play one of their 15 girls' schools.
The biggest names.
Like Long Beach State, NFIU, and
Sports Radio 560 UAM.
And then, Mike, blow.
Let me tell you something, pal. Long Beach State's a girls' school. Oh!
Absolutely.
I won a scholarship the other day. The U of M said we need you to play. They made an offer that I thought was cool. Just win at football and forget about school. We tad footin'. We tad footin'. We tad footin'. We tad footin'. Tad said we got some incentives for you. Just win the game is all that you gotta do. You'll have all the drugs and women you've ever seen. And party down the street in a limousine. We tad footin'. We tad footin'. We tad footin'. We tad footin'. The NCAA, they sure got pissed. They gave the school a little slap on the wrist. But Tadwood said it's just another day. We're gonna keep on doing what we do anyway. We Tadfootin'.
You fairy.
We Tadfootin'. We Tadfootin'. We Tadfootin'.
All right.
We be Tadfootin'. We be Tadfootin'.
Yeah, the Canes want to take a break in the long-standing FIU series. Wasn't that the first big game in the series, Josh?
Yeah, first time.
That was the first time they ever played. Now they want
So
to take a break.
there's not going to be a round two?
Come on, give us a break, man. Give us a break. Let's have another brawl. Let's have some football. Go out there and kick some ass. So I'm looking at this Man Talk 640 website.
Okay.
And it's a work in progress, obviously. They're waiting for Josh to come over there. And the bottom on the right-hand side, it says local coverage. And it's got a map of Florida. It's got their fantasy. Most of their signal goes into the ocean, by the way. They're number one in flippers, number one in fish. And it says on the bottom, click here for our full coverage map, and you click on it, and nothing happens. So they're obviously still working. It says, stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. We'll be throwing the switch on Monday, October 23rd, changing our format to entertain, educate men in the prime of their life. Check back soon for updates and new information about our station. But obviously that's as far as they got. Nice going, Steve. You're really kicking your own ass. Let's get Joyce Kaufman back on the air.
Oh!
And Norma Kent.
Oh!
And who am I leaving? And Greg Budell.
Oh!
And Don Agony.
Oh!
Noodles. Luxion. Speaking of 50 banana. Oh, God. Just speak English and cut the crap already, okay? Stop with this ethnic nonsense, this BS. 50, haven't I always told you do not ever get on a cruise ship?
You have mentioned that.
I keep begging you people, quit wasting your money and jeopardizing your life. Around 1,450 passengers on a luxury cruise ship. This is in thisisLondon.entertainment guide. The Brits. Around 1,450 passengers on a luxury cruise ship have been left without toilets for 3 days, according to people on board. A series of blockages in the plumbing system is said to have led to mayhem. Mayhem on board Thompson's Destiny cruise ship. Tour operator Thompson admitted that there have been problems with the vacuum system of the toilets, but he said he was bringing in a team of super technicians to fix the system overnight. A spokeswoman said the team of 10 experts will be working through the night to ensure the problem will be sorted. She was unable to confirm how long the toilets have been out of action for. The huge 11-deck ship is on a 7-day voyage around the Canary Islands and Morocco. Oh, who the hell wants to go there? One couple, Derek and Lorraine Twig from West Yorkshire, boarded the ship as a birthday treat. Trick or treat. Mrs. Twig, 51, said Destiny had been without toilets for 3 days and hot water for at least 24 hours. She said there was mayhem on board the ship, which is full, and a protest meeting was being held by the passengers. Mr. Twig's 60th birthday had been ruined by the plumbing by the plumbing faults, she added. Probably a little bit of a backup. Destiny is the largest ship in the Thompson fleet with 2 swimming pools, 2 restaurants, and 3 bars. Well, like, you know, you just to sit on the edge, I guess.
Right, just hang it over the rail.
Just kind of plop your
Rectum
on the rail and let loose. That's bad.
Oh, God.
But it sure conjures up some, you know, they keep talking about mayhem.
Yeah.
Haven't they got away with words? 1,157 votes on the poll. Don't forget the Kenny and Bo Morning Show. Let's get it over a 1 now, okay? What is going on with this Joe Bell? My God. I mean, when he came along, we were like in between. Like we didn't know whether we were screaming or swimming or dying or what we were doing. Kind of like Little Lost Children. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember it.
Then there were all those experiments in the morning, and we had, what do they call that thing? That abortion?
The sport. I don't know. We called it the morning sports zoo. I don't know what they called it.
But they had a name for it.
The new morning crew.
The morning wrecking crew. Yeah.
Whatever.
And then we had the Defoe was in, and then Defoe was out. He was doing business with the engines, and he disappeared. And then we had that vanished. Then we had which came first, the chicken or the egg? We had Howard. We had Stern on there briefly. No, we had Joe Rose in there. We had Mo early before anybody woke up to find out about it. We had Mo on. And then we had Joe Rose. We had Mo and Joe. Remember? And then we lost our mojo.
That's correct.
We lost our mojo.
After a few days, I had my repair check. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I got the check. Got my car fixed. It's my birthday.
So anyway, and then we went through the Stern business after Joe Rose got stabbed in the back and went across the street. And then Stern, of course, we damn near lost the license on that deal, and maybe still have, who knows. And then what did we do after that?
I forget.
Oh, Hank, you forget the humper? That's a lot of flesh to forget, man.
That was funny.
And then we went from the humper to Kenny and Bo. We went from the humper to the dumper. And we did not get the Mancow Mueller show from Chicago. Syndicated. It's going to be on Men Talk. It's on right now, as a matter of fact. Did we get any faxes about what's going on with them or about whether they exist?
No.
I mean, we could take phone calls on that, but I sure don't want to do that. You want to?
No.
Oh, me either. I don't want to reach over and turn that damn thing on. In fact, let me just turn it on to see if it works, you know?
Okay.
I haven't turned that monitor on so long, and maybe in the same condition as the one you got there. I just don't know it. No, it's working. I see a line flashing there, too. Maybe we take just one real short call. QAM.
Neil.
Okay, that's good enough. That's it. You like that one?
That was great.
Former Enron Chief Executive Officer Jeffrey Skilling, the most vilified figure from the financial scandal of the decade, was sentenced yesterday to 24 years and 4 months in the harshest sentence yet in the case that arose from the energy trading giant's collapse. And I hear that they're going to get, what's his name back? They're going to get his body back, Kenny Lay?
Yeah.
And they're going to get the body back and stick him in there, too, and just let Jeffrey Skilling sniff it.
They should desecrate the corpse.
Sniff the aroma until it puts him in a coma. U.S. District Judge Sim Lake denied Skilling's request for bond, ordered him to home confinement wearing an ankle monitor. Oh, nice bracelet, Kenny. Or Jeffrey, whatever your name is. Lake, who told the U.S. Bureau of Prisons to recommend when Skilling should report to prison, suggested that Skilling, 52, be sent to the federal facility in Butner, North Carolina, for his role in a case that came to symbolize corporate fraud in America. Butner, North Carolina. I wonder if he's kin to Bill Buckner. Remember that ground ball went through his legs? Sure you do.
Oh.
1,141 votes. 2 weeks from today is Election Day. Aren't you whipped up into a frenzy? Josh is going to go out and vote several times, he told me.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
this is Dick Cheney. I like to relax by having Mary Magdalene massage my balls while listening to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
All right.
Nowadays my drug is served in a mug of chamomile. Instead of doing lines, I drink sleepy time chamomile. Let it steep, let it steep, let it steep. Oh! Chamomile. If you're getting old and you're feeling cold, chamomile. If your life is stressed and you need some rest, chamomile. Let it steep, let it steep, let it steep, chamomile.
1,163 votes on our world-famous poll about about UM football, of course. Not to be confused with the outstanding learning institution known as the University of Miami, known as Suntan U. A missing priest accused of helping steal more than $400,000 in offerings and gifts at St. Vincent Ferrer Catholic Church has turned himself into authorities in Miami. Remember that story? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, the church is pissed off because only they're allowed to steal from the parishioners.
The Reverend Francis Guinan was being held at the Dade County Jail after surrendering to police at Miami International on Sunday. Guinan was in Australia and other tourist destinations when the Reverend John Skehan, pastor at St. Vincent Ferrer Catholic Church for 4 decades until his retirement several years ago, was arrested on the same charges. Greeted by police said to arrest him on grand theft charges at Palm Beach International last month, Skehan, age 79, blurted out that he had misappropriated money from St. Vincent, a search warrant shows. When in doubt, he blurted it out. Like that. Yeah. Are you faxing me something again? Boy, it's so exciting when the fax goes out because it's behind me now. See, I had to drag that table like behind me. Oh. Turn around and reach way back. See how it says, regarding the article you were just reading about WJNA, constantly changing call letters and signals, I think that Arbitron needs to enter the 21st century. The Census Bureau now considers Miami-Fort Lauderdale-West Palm to be one metro area, currently the number 6 metro area in the country with a population of 5.4 million. Philly and Dallas are 4 and 5 with 5.8 million, but since Miami is growing much faster, it'll be number 4 shortly. If Arbitron would get with the program, combine the markets like the Census Bureau did, everyone would be getting much higher advertising rates. Don't forget the poll you recently took. You had nearly as many listeners as Palm Beach as in Dade and Broward. We did?
I don't remember that.
Also, during the break, I tuned to 640. It says, don't worry, I kept QM running in the background. Oh, thank God! I was able to hear Mancow loud and clear here in South Beach, so apparently they're up and running. Yeah, it started yesterday, okay? I just told you that. They're up and running.
All right.
He was able to hear Mancow. How come he was hearing it on 640 and not 560 this morning? How did we not get that? Skehan admitted that several times he misdirected money from the church, but told investigators he saw himself as the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company who wasn't properly compensated. Well, I think he's got a point there. Multi-billion-dollar company. In discussing how much was misappropriated, Skehan told the police it was a mountain of money. Well, that's kind of like Mountain of Love by Johnny and Joe. You got that? I love that.
You know it.
Or is that like Over? No, was it Over the Mountain? Mountain of Love was Johnny Rivers. Over the Mountain by Johnny and Joe. Right? Mountain of Love was Johnny Rivers. Now, how come nobody gives Johnny Rivers his due? Johnny Rivers was great.
I do. So which mountain song do you want to hear?
Over the Mountain by Johnny and Joe. You don't got that. That's ancient. I would say like 58.
Over the mountain, across the sea, there's a girl waiting for me. Oh!
Okay, that's enough. There's a preview of our new format here on QAM. We went from I like that line. I fell into it. Went from the thumper to the humper to the dumper. Oh, that's bad. Are you picking on Kenny again?
I'm not picking on Kenny. Nothing.
You're picking on Bo, though, just because he's still on the hallway.
I wish they would turn him loose and set him free.
Turn him loose and let him do a show, okay, and stop at his sports crap, okay? Get Bo Camper the hell out of there. Send him back up the street with his moo cow at University Dodge. Stop with his sports obsession. Well, the Dolphins really suck. Yeah, no kidding, okay? They're 1-6, they suck, and the Saban era blows, and Saban's got a crappy attitude, and this in the media, and everybody hates him like poison. Like poison. And now he's blaming the players and blaming this one and blaming everybody else. You go out there and suit up, Nick, you loser. You slimeball. The Dolphins suck. And, boy, there's one station over there. Thank God it's not us anymore. We're losing enough on the Marlins. losing their ass on the broadcast rights. If I'm Joe Bell, I'd like to offer $10 million a year just to goose it up. So because Joel and his family over there, they're so desperate to keep the Dolphins, it's all they got. They got the little dog who's kicking our ass in the morning, and then that's all they got. Dolphins. And who the hell wants to listen to that? Would you listen to it?
To what?
Police have charged Skian and his successor, Guinan, age 63, with stealing more than $400,000 from the parish's donations. Small potatoes, $400,000. An audit conducted by the Diocese of Palm Beach alleges the pair has appropriated $8.7 million. Well, now we're talking another story. I'll take my share. 8.7 banana. Guinan, who retired in 2005, and first of all, I don't know what the Italian word is for bananas. I have no idea. I could look it up. I know ananas is pineapple.
How about
Anus?
that?
Did you know that?
Nope.
But I don't know what the word for Italian. But why would you say that? Cinquanta banani. It's just to be a jerk. Stop being a jerk, okay? I hope you lose your ass. And then the guy on the same machine, he gets a spin for 500, and 2 minutes later on the same machine, he gets another spin for 1,000, just to piss me off. I should have said, Cinquecento, how you say it?
You're asking me?
Banana. Guinan, who retired in 2005 amid the diocese investigation, was vacationing in Australia, Singapore, and Ireland, having a gay old time when police filed charges. He hired high-profile attorney David Roth, who also represents former U.S. Representative Mark Foley, to negotiate the terms of his surrender with the state attorney. I bet you Father O'Toole there and Mark Foley got a lot in common.
So I looked up banana.
Maybe they both like to altar boys. Yes?
In Italian.
How do you say it?
Banana.
It is?
That's what's said in Babelfish.
Cinquanta banana. Really?
Really?
That's kind of unusual, ain't it?
I could go to another website. Not really.
Yeah, hell, it's not. You don't know your fruits, mister. I'll tell you that right now.
No, but I...
How do you say banana in Spanish?
Plátano.
Oh, plantains.
Well, there's a difference, obviously, but...
Yeah.
But it's plátano. Either kind. You say plátano.
I'll be damned. Brent Badowski writes on the Smirking Chimp. Now, let's see. Has he got some other claim to fame? I always look at the end of this. And I don't want all these comments from the readers, okay? I'm not interested. Stop wasting. He served as a legislative assistant to Senator Lloyd Benson. Remember Lloyd Benson ran for VP with Michael Dukakis, and they both lost?
Mm-hmm.
At any rate, on the Smirking Chimp, he writes, Obama Mania. And what did I tell you a couple of weeks ago, Barack Obama? You didn't believe me. I told you.
I believed you.
Brent Podolsky says 2 thoughts about Senator Obama. First, he has the look of a future president, the brains of a future president, the idealism of a future president, the talent of a future president, the charisma of a future president. He may well deserve to be a future president, and he may be a future president. Second, Senator Obama may be the least qualified person in the history of national politics to have his name mentioned as a future president for an election coming in 2 years because he has credible national experience for a period measured barely in months. Senator Obama has close to 0 national security experience, close to 0 national defense and foreign policy experience, close to 0 national political experience, close to 0 national legislative experience, and close to 0 experience being tested in the crucible of brutal national politics. It's not his fault, it just is. A word to the wise, the bigger they are in the eyes of the national media, the harder they fall in the eyes of the national media. A suggestion, the smartest and most brilliant move Senator Obama could make is withdraw his name from consideration for president in 2008 fairly soon. This would skyrocket his national reputation, credibility, and stature in ways that would skyrocket his potential for becoming president because it would be based on a wise act, not a media and political fad. A prediction that's exactly what he will do, because I suspect he does have the judgment and temperament to someday be president, and is smart enough to know that which the media builds up, the media will crash down. This goes to the larger question, the shallowness of American politics and American media coverage of American politics. The idea that someone is new becomes the fad of the month, no matter that Commander-in-Chief experiences preeminent quality needed for our next Commander-in-Chief. Obama mania is a rejection of the political status quo, a time in our history where our political system is near universal disrepute among our people, when a president reaches disastrous levels of unpopularity, when a Congress drenched in corruption reaches disastrous levels of unpopularity, when the Republican Party is widely seen as fossilized and corrupt, while in truth the Democratic Party is not perceived as much better, and praised to finally be elected as the party of default. The American people are genuinely concerned about the future of our country, yet they turn on the TV sets and watch commercials that are nothing more than a sickening and depressing spectacle of one party of politicians spitting venom and dirt against the other party of politicians. Obama mania is a refreshing story of a U.S. senator who's a breath of fresh air, uncorrupted by the process, full of idealism and intelligence, articulate, uplifting, and a man who may well be our president and may well deserve to be our president someday. He is that good. He has that much promise. But 2008 is not his year. My hope and my prediction, he writes, he is wise enough to know that, and if he takes himself out for 2008, Obama mania will grow greater than ever, but for the right reasons. Meanwhile, voter rolls in Ohio are now being purged. Letters are arriving to Hispanics in California threatening them if they vote. Maryland has witnessed major problems with voting machines and voting problems. Fixes and irregularities create the probability of crisis and chaos on Election Day. A subject Senator Obama would do well to champion within the heights of his eloquence. A subject Democratic leaders would do well to fight far more aggressively in the coming days. A subject far more important than the fresh face fad of the month.
Huh?
Well, that's what Brent Badowski says. I think you ought to butt out. Don't you?
What about a fat
no, I see his
face of the
point.
month?
You know, the media gets all whipped up. The fad of the moment, the fad of the month, deal or no deal, candidate or no candidate, all this crap, all these, you know how it goes.
All of these things.
But I think he's the man. You don't?
Barack?
Barack.
Anyone. Whatever.
If you want to beat Iraq, you got to elect Barack. If you want to get Osama, you better elect Obama.
I thought you were going to say your mama.
Well, I was going to say that, too. See, now you're turning into a racial thing. Let's see, now his father is black and his mother is white. Is that how it works?
You asking me?
Well, he's got a mixed... I know one of his parents is black and one
what
is
do
white.
the Irish have to do with this? Now you're onto the mix.
So, now if the mother is white, does that make him white like being Jewish?
Half of it.
1,177 votes on the poll, man. I'm going to tell you, Mancow may be on, but you're not doing it. We need to give a lot of publicity over there to, what's his name, Steve Lappa. He's probably running laps right now. Oh, Rogers is talking about us. Thank God we faxed him. Yeah, big deal. You should live so long, you're going to get a number over there, okay? Now, but the obvious question is, how come we didn't get that check?
The biggest names of
Don't
best
you wonder that?
talent. This is Neil Rogers.
No, I wonder two
Sports
things. Who
Radio
wrote the Book of Love and why didn't we get that show?
The biggest names, the best talent.
I look at the Dolphins, they look like a joyless, tight bunch of guys right now, Hammer.
But a joyless coach.
They're not only afraid to make a play, they're like, what wrong is going to happen to us right now? Where are we going to snap? Where are we going to break down?
So the point is, as you would say...
And in the larger view, this is where we're at. Where are we?
I would say that this is the worst the Dolphins have been in since I have been here. And you know how long I've been here? Since the franchise started.
The Power Hour with Hank Goldberg and Jim Anderson. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Barbra Streisand is trashing George W. Bush in her new concert tour. And now, the president is fighting back.
Babs, you don't know anything. Why don't you just shut up and sing?
The Commander-in-Chief counterpunches in a once-in-a-lifetime stage extravaganza.
Barbra Streisand has got a gigantic behind.
Rectum.
Don't know how James Brolin taps that from the way she let herself go.
Tickets are going fast to see George W. Bush on stage, dissing the Democratic diva Barbra Streisand.
Thank you very much. You're beautiful. Good night.
12:18, Cinquanta Banane. Ridiculous. 1,191 votes. I looked it up myself. I believed you, but I just had to see it for myself.
Oh, no. Never believe anything I say.
So, in other words, I shouldn't have been pissed off that this guy was... it didn't make any difference because it just was annoying.
So I assume the plural is banani?
Banane, with an E on the end.
Oh.
Because if it ends in A, if it was like a masculine word, it would be banani, with an I.
I see.
Banani. Well, whatever the hell it is. Who the hell knows? I bet you the Pope knows a few bananas. I bet he's seen a couple.
Mm-hmm.
The Republican running against Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton in New York denied a Monday newspaper report that he disparaged the Democratic senator's appearance. Let me say it again. She's Mias. You ever see a picture of her back then? Woo! Woo!
Who?
Woo! WHEW. Remember that station? That's like WMEN. New York Daily News political reporter Ben Smith quoted John Spencer as saying Friday en route to a debate with Clinton in Rochester. I wonder if they stopped at Don and Bob's at Sea Breeze. I don't know why Bill married her, he was reported as saying, referring to former President Clinton. The Daily News also reported that Spencer, 59, former mayor of Yonkers, said Clinton had undergone millions of dollars of work, plastic surgery, to help improve her appearance. She looks good now, Smith quoted Spencer as saying. Polling shows that Clinton has a commanding lead. She's going to whip his ass, okay, that bitch. She's going to kick his ass. Bob Ryan, Spencer's spokesman, denied Smith's account, but acknowledged a conversation took place on the flight from New York to Rochester. The comment that he said was something to the effect of, if you ever seen a picture of Hillary Clinton from college, I think he said, boy, she changed, Ryan said in an interview on CNN. Woo! Which is obvious if you look at the picture of her, that's what he said. He never said anything about her having plastic surgery. Maybe he just said she was a plastic bitch. Or maybe he called her the ice princess. He said, never use the word ugly. This is the Daily News' word. It's never in quotes. Spencer was quoted by the Associated Press as saying the comments were a fabrication. I would never call Hillary Clinton ugly. He said, that's outrageous. I didn't do it. Maybe if he had the balls to say, that would have been good. The Daily News story was accompanied by a photo of Clinton as a teenager, and the senator later joked with the reporter saying, my high school picture was cute. Oh, God. You know who she looked like when she was young?
What's her name? Her daughter.
Right, exactly. That same grotesque hairdo and
Chelsea.
Oh, my God. Chelsea. Oh, brother. It's exactly who she looked like, just like Chelsea. The apple didn't fall far from the tree in that crowd, I'll tell you that.
Chelsea Victoria Clinton arrived 3 weeks early on February 27th, 1980, at 11:24 p.m. While I was recovering, Bill would put his foot on my throat, yank me by my hair, and say, woman, don't spoil her. I said, okay. Chelsea was sold by her opium-addicted father when she was 8 years old. Chelsea looked at him and said bad things about her daddy. That sealed the decision for Bill. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But even more frightening, at the age of 15, Chelsea had come back to haunt us. She escaped and returned home, only to be sold again to a whorehouse. Who would want to do that to kids who had never done anything to them? Me, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Chelsea said, come on, Mom, don't do it. Oh, yeah, right, I said. Looking like a dazed boxer who had just been pummeled in the ring, she leaned toward me and whispered in my ear, you bitch.
Oh, I love it. See, what qualifications has she got to be president? Well, she's a senator, you know, one of 100, and she was once married to Bill, and that's it. That's her claim to fame. Well, she's a brilliant lawyer, and she's almost as brilliant as Condom Lisa, although she isn't a great concert pianist.
What word did you say?
But I bet you she's got one. In fact, I bet you both of them have got one. 1,196 votes. Maybe that wouldn't that be the ticket?
Yeah,
speaking of the ticket, boy, I sure hope they don't lose too much more. Well, here's the Caveman Geico spot, the pissed off caveman.
I like that.
He's on the moving walkway there in the airport.
Yeah.
So easy a caveman can do it. And then he backs up and walks back to him and looks at it again with that pissed off look. The perpetually pissed off caveman. Get a haircut, Frico. They're great. Like I said, I have no idea anything about their insurance. I never had their insurance, but their spots.
I got on the phone and called Geico.
Yeah, quote. Hey, how's it going?
I mean, how can you beat that? 1,196 votes. We'll have 1,200 before you can say Joel Feinberg's losing his ass, or daddy's ass. Which best describes the UM football program? Of no interest to me, 400. A full third of this audience couldn't give a flying Joyce less. A disgrace, 278. A dynasty, 132, or is that dynasty? As the constipated Brits say, a dynasty. A joke, 120. Thugs, 74. That's moved up nicely on the hit parade. I hate this poll, 73. Exciting, 62. And boring, 57. 1198. Well, it's pretty boring when they keep playing these little girls' schools. Didn't they lose to Houston, or I dream that?
Well, they lost to Louisville.
Well, Louisville's not a little girls' school.
No, they're not. Well, not
Didn't
this
they
year,
almost
anyway.
lose to Houston?
Yes, they did.
Or did they lose?
I believe, no, they didn't. They won by 1 point.
And they damn near lost to Duke. Well, we got all those suspended players, you know. See, you can rip them an ass all day long because it doesn't make any difference. Because there's nobody from the University of Miami listening to this show anyway. Nobody. Except maybe Mike Rosenthal, maybe him. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he and Robert Grieper are sitting together right now, arm around each other's shoulder, listening to this show right now. Can you see it? Can you envision it?
I'd rather not.
Jeff Milken and Stacy Mitchell on TomPayne.com write about Walmart's drug deal. You just salivate every chance you get to rip Walmart an ass, you know.
They're evil.
Yeah.
And I hate them.
But other than that...
Yeah, and they're great.
I'll get to that momentarily. Don't forget, by the way, the Man Cow Show. The one that we didn't get.
I'll set a reminder.
Mm-hmm. I think the obvious question is it any good? I mean, you know, you hear about him, but I've never heard him on the air. Plus, if it's on regular terrestrial radio, it's got to be, like, highly sanitized, isn't it?
I imagine.
These days. Because one thing I'll tell you right now, Steve Lappa, who's strongly associated with Norma Kent, doesn't want to be starting to lose his license over there, down the up the dial, whatever the hell it is, up the road. And you want to know where that station is licensed to? Oh, I lost it. I had it on there. I think it's Royal Palm Beach.
Okay.
Wherever the hell that is, you know.
Up yonder.
It's up the road a piece, okay, but they got a big booming signal, baby, and they're going to kick our ass.
No.
They're not going to do much. And Romy, man, I see Jim Sarney's all emotional. Oh, Jim Rome show, who's been missed locally so badly, he'll be back on. Yeah, right. You should live so long, you old toad. You bufo toad. That's Jim Sarney, man, a walking bufo toad. You know who told me that?
I give up.
Little birdie.
Oh.
Let me tell you right now about my good friends over at Lou Backroad Chevrolet. For over 20 years, I bought all my cars from these folks. Because they give you great service. They take good care of me, I'll tell you that, and they'll give you the same spectacular treatment like they've been giving me for over 20 years. Their service, their salespeople, their selection of cars are unbeatable. And right now, it's Lou Backroad Chevrolet's Race to 1,000 for the first time in their history. They want to sell 1,000 cars in 1 month, and they're going to do it. They've got the biggest selection of new and used cars, including the hot new Corvettes, the ultimate sports car. It's like a dream come true, man, when you get into a Corvette. They got your trucks, your SUVs, and minivans, the biggest selection anywhere in the universe. They've also got used cars starting at just $3,995, every one backed by a Carfax guarantee. And like I said, Lou Backroad is out to sell 1,000 cars this month, and they're staying open every night till midnight to get that 1,000 done. Forget the price, make them an offer, and they'll beat any deal you ever heard of. More money for your trade. They give you 0% financing, rebates up to $6,000, whatever it takes to get that deal done and to get to their goal. Only at Lou Backroad Chevrolet with 2 locations. They're in Pompano Beach, a quarter mile west of I-95 and Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Sawgrass Expressway. Don't forget, Lou Backroad is taken open until midnight every night, so get your ass over to Lou Backroad right now and get the best deal in history on a Chevrolet you've ever gotten in your life, ever even heard of. Check them out on the web at LouBackroad.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
And lay down on my couch.
Yo, what up? This is K-Fed, Kevin Federline. I'm a daddy again. Ha! Guess I ain't no one-hit wonder. Take that, music critics. Anyway, I sure don't want to be known as Kevin Fertile-Line, so I've created my own condoms. Introducing Federliners. Federliners are different. They're condoms that chicks wear, because I believe birth control, like pretty much everything else in life, is a woman's responsibility.
Federliners.
And Federliners are built for my pleasure, just like a chick that wears them.
Federliners.
So tell your wife, girlfriend, significant other, or whatever you're sleeping with at the moment, to go down to the nearest drugstore and pick up a package of Federliners.
What?
Oh, and make sure they pick up something to eat, too. Oh, I'm starving. Oh, and some beer, and rent a couple of video games, and some smokes, and some ice cream for dessert,
and all of these
things.
Right. One moment, please. I got a very important hot story back here, but I got to reach back.
Is it hot?
No. It's not one of those hot pages. Jesus, how long is this thing? Miami Herald says when State Representative Ralph Arza found out over the weekend that another legislator had filed a complaint claiming Arza slurred the black chief of Dade schools, he started drinking and he got mad. Arza called a colleague, Representative Gus Barrero, and left him an angry message on his voicemail, cursing him out and calling Dade Superintendent Rudy Crew the N-word. That was the same thing, a racially insensitive, profanity-laced voicemail Barrero had complained about in the first place. The upshot, Barrero called the police Monday saying he felt Arza's diatribe was threatening. Police, who now have a tape of Arza's phone call, and a second anonymous call made hours later, say they've opened an investigation. On Monday night, Arza issued a stunning apology in an email to the Herald saying he has trouble controlling his temper, especially when he's drinking. He also asked Barrero, his family, and voters for his forgiveness. My emotions got the best of me, and I left some offensive and shameful messages, Arza said. I've embarrassed myself, my family, and the constituents I serve. At times, I've had difficulty controlling my emotions and anger. I've noticed this problem is made worse on those occasions when I've been drinking. Saturday night was one of those occasions. Arza said he'll seek immediate counseling. Maybe he and Miss Fuller can get a package deal. What do you think?
What kind of package?
Pharrell will show you. Arza left a message on Barrero's cell phone Saturday, the day the Herald reported that Barrero had filed his complaint against Arza, a Republican, with the House Rules Committee. Sometime after Arza's call, someone else called Barrero on his cell phone, left a threatening message calling Barrero a snitch. Rhymes with, you bitch. Barrero declined to discuss the investigation in detail, but confirmed receiving the 2 phone calls between 8 p.m. Saturday and 1 a.m. Sunday. Barrero says he recognized the first caller as Arza, and his caller ID displayed Arza's number. He didn't recognize the voice of the second caller. Arza told the Herald he doesn't know who the second caller was. You know what the second caller said, though?
Why didn't we get that morning show?
No, he said, "Hi." Arza's message, Barrero said, referred again to crew and used a racial epithet. In the past, Arza has strongly denied using the slur, and in Monday's statement continued to insist he's been unjustly accused. Said Barrero, he used the word again. He once again used the N-word. The only difference this time is that the recording is saved. The Arza didn't specifically threaten Barrero. His tone was very threatening, Barrero said. Barrero declined to say in detail what Arza said or what was said by the second caller. "Hi." "I have to take the threat seriously," said Barrero, a Miami Beach Republican. "I felt it was threatening." And it goes on, the beat goes on, as South Florida politics continues degenerating into like a barroom brawl. Bunch of crap. Now, can I get back to Walmart?
Please. I'm begging you.
Oh. Don't forget, Mad Dog at 2, Power Hour with Hank and the Mad Dog together 4 to 5. I wonder how that did. Now, do I have that hour-by-hour thing? Let me see.
Thought you did.
Well, I got it here somewhere in the midst of all this just ton of stuff that you sent. One moment, please. Well, there's that thing about MEN 640. Oh, that's our new format, the music of your life. I can't wait for that.
Wouldn't do worse, would it?
I beg your pardon?
Could it do worse?
Worse than what? What are you picking on now? Who and what are you picking on now, man?
You name it.
You picking on Kenny Walker and Bo Camper again? Bo Camper?
Not necessarily them.
Including them. You're picking on the sports segments? I told you. Didn't I tell you months ago that sports talk radio is dead? I told you that.
Months ago? I think you mentioned that years ago.
Well, I'm always way ahead of the curve. I got this in here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Here's the tap scan. I'm tapping it. Kill that. And what hour am I looking for? 3 to 4. 4 to 5. That's the power hour. 4 to 5 p.m. We go from a 1-9 at 3 to a 2-3. And then the humper goes all the way up to a 2-7. We got the humper, and now we're in the dumper. And then 6 o'clock drops down to a 1-9. That's the summer book. The summer book. Remember the Summer Knows? That was the theme song from Summer of 42. Jennifer O'Neill was in that. And Gary Grimes. Well, I sure like Gary Grimes a lot. Whatever happened to him? He vanished.
Who?
Don't you remember the Summer of 42 and the Class of 44?
Nope.
You never saw that with Hermie?
No.
I got a little squirmy for Hermie.
Black and white?
Scrawny. I beg your pardon?
Was it a black and white movie?
Get out of here. Black and white, my ass.
That's what I heard.
Jesus, God almighty. You are so out of touch.
Red spots, too.
Google it. Go to
Why?
IMDb. I'll do it.
It's an old black and white movie. What's it going to do for me?
Hampton Weeks and the orchestra harmoniously declaring, I wish I had wings.
All right. Summer 42. Jennifer O'Neill, Gary Grimes. Jerry Hauser played Oski. You'd recognize him from some spots. He's a very annoying punk. And there were only like 2 people in the whole movie. There weren't a whole lot of people in it. Summer 42. And Jennifer O'Neill, her husband is in the war, and she gets the telegram, her husband, we regret to inform you, and he died in action. And then so Hermie comes over to the house. She gives him a little action. He's just this punk kid,
Anybody get naked?
Well, I would think that they probably did if she's going to do it, unless they did with their clothes on. I don't remember. It's an old flick, man.
Yeah, I know.
Summer 42, 1971. That's only 35 years ago. We always talk about movies from like 72, like The Godfather.
Okay.
And Network, 72. Godfather. What do you always Deliverance? And we say we're like, get out of here, black and white, my.
Yeah, and spots.
So let's see, 4 to 5, we had a 2-3. See, the number doesn't mean anything to me because only a month of that is the new lineup. And I'm sure that Joe Bell is going around saying, well, this is the brand new lineup. Don't be making any judgments now. It's just a couple of weeks. Plus, of course, the tremendous promotion that the new lineup has gotten is in none.
We've got to wait for some of that to work.
Some of what?
That promotion
that it hasn't gotten yet? How come we're not faxing to the other stations all around town so that they put it on the air? See, people fax me stuff like that about Men 640 because they know this is a show that's got an audience, including the biggest male audience of any show in the market. So, gee, if we can just get Neil to talk about us, yeah, right. Well, that's what they all think. If Neil will talk about us, all the listeners from over there are going to come over here. Aren't they? No.
What are you talking about faxing another station? Who else is doing a talk show in this town that would talk about it? Or could?
Rush is on right now. Romy.
Yeah,
send a fax to your homie, Romy, man. He's tight with Hank. Remember when, who was on his show? Wasn't Mo on that show? Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that.
That's right. Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno.
That's the show that, that Mo was on.
Boy, you sure have a memory for stuff like that. Now, what the hell is that bit called?
Asking me?
I'll find it here. Well, I'll tell you one that we can still play.
Oh, yeah.
With George doing the comb over.
Comb and paper, yeah. The comb over, how
if I needed a
appropriate.
comb over, it was the Momeister. I'm so proud of the fact that in spite of all that hostility and the hate, that was a really ugly period, to say the least. I mean, you put him and me together, that's pretty ugly. But I got him to ditch the wig, ditch the piece.
Looks so much better now?
No.
Looks like a hitman now.
Does he really?
He does. Kind of scary looking.
Now, speaking of the doctor that did that hairpiece.
Thanks for taking me in to see Dr. Dudley.
No, it wasn't Dr. Dudley. Huh? Oh, no, it was this one.
The doctor that performed the surgery on
Jay
Jay Fiedler's thumb. Isn't he the same doctor that performed the procedure on your toupee?
It's the doctor who performed the surgery.
Yeah. Think about it a while, Mo. Let that delay build up, baby.
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah. Really sad. 19-1. Boy, I'm going to tell you, between Greg Reed and what we got going on. Pop had Greg, look what we got. So was Joe serious when he came in this morning and was like giving you a little tongue or what?
What, he shook my hand?
He shook it?
Sure, vigorously.
Squeeze it?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Did that little tickle thing with his finger?
Mm-hmm. He ought to squeeze and tickle and, do something with us because, boy, I got news for you. The rest, it's like when a ship is sinking, you know?
Yeah.
In the middle of the ship, like, stays afloat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make an analogy here and doing it very poorly. And all the rest of the ship is crumbling around and falling apart, you know, just things. Although now that we got the Mad Dog back on there too, and we did see some evidence of that in the summer book in that last month. Did you notice that?
Yes.
We got back up to a 3.9 between 2 and 3. That's because of the Mad Dog, baby. He keeps a big chunk of our audience, man. In fact, we got audiences with chunks. We're going to spread some around. Now, if we could just keep a chunk of that show in the morning. Speaking of chunks, your carpets, man, are full of crap. There's all kinds of germs and stuff in there. Well, most of it, of course, you can't see with the naked eye, I would hope, unless you're a real slob. But my friends at Dry Concepts have been cleaning my homes for over 21 long, excruciating years, and they never let you down, man. They come there and they dry clean your carpets, which sucks out even the deep down dirt in the fibers of your carpet, makes them look like you had brand new laid right there on the floor. And, of course, when it comes to being unhealthy, your carpets are even worse than the drain in your sink as far as schmutz being in there. And, of course, also, when you have your carpets dry cleaned by Dry Concepts, they stay cleaner longer, so they last longer, too, and it saves you a lot of cash in the long run. They come out smelling lemony fresh, they're dry in a couple of hours, and you're ready to rock and roll again real fast. And don't forget, Dry Concepts has got a plan to make frequent cleaning easy at just a fraction of the cost of regular cleaning. So whether it's your area rugs, your expensive furniture, your drapery, or your carpeting, all of these things, guarantee you Dry Concepts does it better than anybody in the world, and they give you a written guaranteed price up front before they start doing their fabulous job. No rip-offs, no scams, no tack-ons at the end, just a stupendous, unbeatable job at a fair price every time. In Broward County, call Dry Concepts at 954-370-7778. Be sure and tell them that Ancient Neil told you to call. 954-370-7778. And in Dayton, Palm Beach, call them toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 AM.
And by the way, to the losers on Cloudy Channel, the gimmick didn't work. The gimmick was asinine. I appear on a program on the network which happens to be carried by Cloudy Channel. Guess what? Our midday guy had a lot of laughs with it. But laughter ends at some point, my man. And this dopiness perceived as shtick is asinine. A lot of trained monkeys on that program.
Yeah.
Had your fun.
Yep.
Fun's over.
It sure is.
Careful. Payback's a bitch. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, so is the sukkahs.
Buckle your seatbelts, because when I drop it, what happened in Hiroshima in 45 is nothing. Because when I drop the bomb on certain folks here and certain folks elsewhere, it's going to be painful, baby. We don't want to get into personalities.
No, of course not. That would be bad. 12:48, 12 minutes to 1 at 560 WQAM. He dropped a bomb. Now, who had to clean it up?
The Gap Band.
MSNBC host Keith Olbermann has accused Republicans of using terror tactics in an attempt to gain votes. Oh, they wouldn't do that, would they?
No.
Unless they were alone or with somebody? A new political ad sponsored by the Republican National Committee is being viewed by critics as an attempt to turn voters' fears of terrorism into votes for its candidates. The ad shows images of Osama Yamama backed by the sounds of a ticking time bomb. I think we just heard that ticking only moments ago. There it is. There is a cheap Texas Chainsaw Massacre quality to the whole thing, Olbermann said on last night's broadcast of Countdown. In his commentary, Olbermann argued that Republicans use fear in a way that imitates the propaganda video releases from the terrorist organizations. Part of what Olbermann said, the commercial, you've already seen it, is a distillation of everything this administration and the party in power have tried to do these last 5 years in 6 weeks. It's from the RNC. It shows images of Osama bin Laden and Ayman the Payman al-Zawahiri. It offers quotes from them as all as a clock ticks ominously in the background. It concludes with what Zawahiri may or may not have said to a Pakistani journalist as long ago as 2001, his dubious claim that he had purchased suitcase bombs. The quotation is followed by sheer coincidence, no doubt, by an image of a massive explosion. These are the stakes, appears on the screen, quoting exactly from Lyndon Johnson's infamous nuclear scare spot from 1964, and then it says, vote November 7th. There's a cheap Texas Chainsaw Massacre quality to the whole thing. It serves immediately called to mind the occasions when President Bush dismissed Osama as somebody he didn't think about, except obviously when elections were near. Frankly, a lot of people seeing that commercial for the first time have laughed out loud, but not everyone, and therein lies the true threat to this country. The dictionary definition of the word terrorize is simple and not open to misinterpretation: to fill or overpower with terror, terrify, coerce by intimidation or fear. Note please that the words violence and death are missing from that definition, for the key to terrorism is not the act, but the fear of the act. That's why bin Laden and his deputies and his imitators are forever putting together videotape statements and releasing virtual infomercials with dire threats and heart-stopping warnings. But why is the Republican Party imitating them? Bin Laden puts out what amounts to a commercial of fear. The Republicans put out what is unmistakable as a commercial of fear. The Republicans are paying to have the message of bin Laden and the others broadcast into your home. Only the Republicans have a bigger bankroll. That's what Keith Olbermann said. You go, Keith. You let him have it, baby. Stick it to him. Till they get to him. They'll get to him.
Yeah, they will.
I'm fearing for that. Maybe you'll have to hide in the hills there with Doug Thompson. No new commentary today from CapitolHillBlue.com. Aren't you depressed?
Well, now that they don't have habeas corpus, maybe they, they got it.
Maybe they're going to find his corpus laying on the road somewhere. Maybe like in Corpus Christi. 1,258 votes on the poll. Not too shabby, man. We'll do about 14 today. Huh?
Okay.
Okay. Get back to Walmart. You keep throwing me off of this because you don't want me to knock him again. Jeff Milton and Stacy Mitchell write on TomPayne.com. When Walmart recently issued a press release announcing discounts on some generic drugs at Tampa area stores, its executives probably hoped for some favorable publicity in Florida media. So Bentonville surely was festive the next day when sweeping headlines like Walmart to sell generic drugs for $4 a month ran nationwide, often on page 1 of newspapers. After getting better advertising than even a multi-billion-dollar corporation can buy, Walmart naturally pumped out another press release last week announcing drug discounts in 14 other states. The company enjoyed another PR bonanza via national headlines promoting $4 generics at Walmart, but the media did consumers a great disservice. First, there are still no price cuts whatsoever for Walmart customers in 35 states. Next, Walmart isn't discounting generic drugs in general. It offered the $4 price on 291 of the several thousand generic drugs commonly available. Further, even a casual look at Walmart's initial list revealed just 124 different drugs, later increased to 143. So where did the 291 come from? One needn't have looked past the letter A to see 12 different variations of the common antibiotic, amoxicillin. Many other common drugs appear in multiple dosages, including some already available at other stores for less than $4. In the end, the global corporation made a business decision to discount a small portion of one product line. Even Walmart says the discounts apply to less than a quarter of their generics and received priceless publicity promoting its low-price image. The benefit to Walmart and harm to competitors was huge and immediate. A poll by the Wall Street Journal found just 13% of respondents indicated Walmart, Target, or other mass merchants were their usual destination for filling drug prescriptions. That was before Walmart's PR stunt. After the media barrage and matching offers by Target and other mass merchants, a stunning 50% of those respondents said they would likely, very likely, or absolutely certain be filling prescriptions at these stores. They should think twice. True, some people who need one of the chosen drugs and lack insurance will save money, but unless shoppers check in advance to see if their needed medication is among the select few, they're likely to become victims of what the National Community Pharmacists Association calls a classic bait and switch. Unfortunately, the relative costs and benefits of buying drugs from various sources remain largely unknown to most people. Contrary to common perception, the evidence overwhelmingly indicates independent pharmacies, not Walmart or other chains, offer the greatest value. In 2003, the state of Maine researched prices of 15 common prescription drugs at independent and chain pharmacies of all kinds statewide. The 10 lowest-priced pharmacies all were independents, beating all 5 Walmarts in the study. Around the same time, studies by New York City and Senior Action Council in Albany also affirmed lowered overall drug pricing at independent pharmacies than chain competitors. While it's natural to assume the buying power of drug chains or mass merchants translates into lower prices, independent pharmacies now compete quite well through group purchasing efforts and in many cases much lower markups. And independents not only compete on price, they do it while offering more than just pills. In 2003, Consumer Reports magazine surveyed 32,000 readers about their experiences at thousands of pharmacies, including independents, chains, and those with supermarkets and mass merchants. Though mass merchants had a small edge on price alone, independents trounced the chains in overall value by an eye-popping margin. The survey found independents were more likely than all chain stores to have needed medication, got out-of-stock drugs faster, and provided more personal attention. And personal service from your neighborhood drugstore means more than asking, how's the family? For anyone taking multiple medications, their pharmacist's attention can be crucial to avoiding dangerous drug combinations. Unfortunately, the credulous coverage of Walmart's drug promotion is typical, not exceptional. Last November, Walmart released a study commissioned from the consulting firm Global Insight, asserting that Walmart saved $2,329 for an average household. That's a remarkable claim, and as with Walmart's press release on drug discounts, hundreds of media outlets promptly trumpeted the results, and some still cite them today. One problem with the study would be obvious to any economist. The firm applied its savings rate to the average household income of $61,000, not the median, which is $43,000, grossly overstating savings for most Americans. And the study itself found that Walmart's depressing effect on wages lowers household incomes, thus eliminating more than two-thirds of the supposed savings. Moreover, when the Economic Policy Institute, a think tank partly funded by unions, analyzed Global Insight's methodology, it found fatal flaws, including major internal inconsistencies, an approach that fails the most rudimentary sensitivity checks. But EPI's analysis has received scant attention. Admittedly, Walmart's act had one positive impact, increasing awareness of generic drugs, but the massive promotion budgets of national chains can lead even critical thinkers to perceive, often wrongly, that chains provide greater value than your neighborhood businesses. Reporters and editors should help their readers make fully informed choices by providing independent analysis, not just a pro forma quote from a critic when Walmart issues its next press release. Americans should know they don't have to choose between competitive prices and quality service. They likely can receive both at local businesses that invest more in their products and services than just public relations. Sounds like a shot at Walmart again to me.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 AM.
There's this guy Perel. And when I'm up in Boca Chica slapping old women with painted lips around the pool,
I listen to the Neil Rogers 1 to 2 hour.
I listen to the Neil Rogers Fair and Balanced 1 to 2 hour.
Yeah, I got the check. Got my car fixed. It's my birthday.
This station presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Cross-Dressing Halloween Costume Wearer.
Mr. Cross-Dressing Halloween Costume Wearer.
We know how you longingly look in your wife's closet when she's away at her mother's, wondering to yourself how a slinky silk cocktail dress would feel against your manly skin.
Sometimes you just want to feel pretty.
You've killed 2 birds with 1 stone, Mr. Cross-Dressing Halloween Costume Wearer, creating a party costume and satisfying your deepest desires.
You sure have the legs for it.
Control Top Pantyhose sure does the trick.
No more tummy bulge, yeah.
So this Halloween, when you see Ed from Shipping in a wig, makeup, and a sequined evening gown, make sure to catcall and compliment Mr. Cross-Dressing Halloween Costume Wearer, a real American hero.
Mr. Cross-Dressing Halloween Costume Wearer.
All those shoes are to die for. Do they come in a size 13?
Oh, yeah, I bet they do. Happy Halloween to you, man. Just go out there and act like a real jerk, like a real idiot. And a lot of you will, right?
Well, not me anymore.
There's another excuse to go out there and act like a jackass.
I wish I could.
I wonder if Josh goes out there trick-or-treating.
I wouldn't say trick-or-treating. Just treating.
Just getting drunk. That's all. There's another excuse to get drunk.
Few tricks.
That's the number one hobby. Well, that's what the Pages do at Mark Foley's house. They go trick-or-treating. He thought they liked it. 1,274 votes on the poll. We're not going to get to 1,400, I'll guarantee you that. We'll get to 13-something today. That's because we didn't push it. My fault. It's all right. It's about the hurricane, so who the hell cares about that? Especially when you consider, look at the number of people who just don't care. 1,274 votes of no interest to me, 425. Which best describes you in football program? 425 people say, we just don't care. And like I've always told you, if you didn't go to school there, or somebody in your family don't go to school, or didn't go to school there, why should you care anyway?
Right, or get a tattoo of them.
Oh, my God. Or wear some of that stupid paraphernalia, that ugly orange and puce colors.
Yeah.
There. Oh, my God.
Who would wear a Canes shirt that didn't go to school there, Josh?
Is he wearing a Canes shirt today?
Yes, I am.
You know, now I know why you like... No, seriously, I know why he likes Spider-Man so much, because he and Tobey Maguire have got so much in common.
Banana lips?
Cinquanta banane.
Lips.
See, it would end with an E, the plural, because the singular ends in an A.
I see.
So it would be... He was saying it right, but I don't care whether it was that. That wasn't the point. It was just annoying. You know, it was a Guido thing. Cinquanta banane. 50 bananas. Yeah, stick your bananas where the moon don't shine. Go back to Sicilia. Get out of my face. God. It's just like remember I was raving about Montreal and how much I liked it. I went to the casino there. I got lucky the first time, which is blind luck. That place sucks. And the food there, they have fabulous restaurants. But there's all those French people there, man. They suck. And you're sitting in a casino, and some old troll is sitting next to you, you know, and you ask a question in French, and you'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I only speak English. And then come to find out, they speak perfect English, too. And 2 minutes later, they start talking hockey and French again.
Oui, oui, oui. Ha, ha, ha.
See, there's my South Florida cracker mentality is just coming to the fore again, you know?
Yep. The forefront.
Unlike South Florida here, just about everybody's speaking English. I mean, you know, and we got certainly much more cultural diversity. They say this is the most diverse and perverse city in the world is what they say. Do you know that?
Who says that?
That's for Castranova's benefit. Whoever they is, you know, they
yeah,
who say a lot of things.
They're over there, I think.
Yeah. They say over there. We had a 2-2 at 9 and a 7 at 10. I'm looking at these hour by hours. That's why we got that big finger up there. And a lot of it was George, baby. Oh! And Josh. Let's give George and Josh a big pat on the back. No money, but a big pat on the back. Good job. Great job. And then, of course, we got a nice goose back up there in September when what's his name?
Neil God
came back on there. Goose it back up again a little bit. You ought to be mighty proud of that. In fact, I'd be running around the building making copies of this, plastering it on walls, on doors. 7081 67 and 74. And the 6.7 and 74, by the way, beating the crap out of Rush. You see, Clarence, as you know, he continues sending me the waxy numbers like we really care about. You know, we care about them as far as opposed to our sports hours numbers, the other 20 hours a day on the station. But that's not our competition. He's still too stupid to understand that. Our competition is IOD and INZ, Scare America and Nazi Radio. He don't get that. And now, of course, we got Men Radio. Wonder how to come Norma. He was always giving me a song to dance about James Crystal List and Steve Lapadat, and they would like to have you on their station, all this other crap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Did it happen? Was there an offer made? No. And if there was, he couldn't seal the deal anyway. Just like that deal with Sirius. Oh, I just realized I got a story printed out here, and I got like, you know, don't you hate it when you're, well, of course you don't print out a lot of stuff.
Not a lot. Little.
When you're going to print something out, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of pop-up crap that shows up on a part of the page.
Well, I don't have that problem because I select and then print the selection.
Oh,
I keep trying to tell you to, like all people do that don't want to waste 5 pages.
No, all people don't do that.
They all do.
They all do?
Yeah.
Especially they were all doing on that ship.
I'll bet.
On that cruise ship.
Over the
3
edge.
days with no turlets. How'd you like that? I mean, you know, if you're stuck out in the middle of the desert by yourself, it didn't make any difference. Although the desert's probably not a really good place.
Why not? You could dig yourself a little hole.
Well, if you're in the woods, I mean, there's like leaves on the tree. There's stuff that you could improvise and use for toilet paper. In the desert, there's nothing but sand. So I guess you're going to have to wipe with sand in your hand, you know?
Sure. Just scrub it.
Wind up with a sandy ass. Speaking of that, porn star gives up candidacy to be with sick mom. It's chopped off on the right-hand margin here, by the way. Porn star Mary Carey. You know her?
No. Isn't that the one that ran for governor?
Yes.
All right, then I do.
Said she was dropping out of the California governor's race to be with her ailing mother, who's been hospitalized in Florida since jumping off a four-story building last month. Oh, God. Carey, who shot to worldwide fame with her quixotic gubernatorial campaign against Arnold in 2003, said her mother was in critical condition at a Fort Lauderdale hospital facing surgery. As much as I want to help the state of California be a better place, I think it's more important to be with my mom and help her, Kerry said. You see, if the rest of the world were just civilized, we could spend all of our time having nonstop orgies and parties and just have a great time, you know? That's where it's
Sure.
at. That's what we need is people like this broad. Mary Carey.
All right.
I think it's more important to be with my mom and help her, she said in a written statement. Her mentally handicapped mother jumped out the building last month. I'm only 26, have many more years to be involved in politics, but right now I must be in Florida with my mom. For now, I'd just like to ask everybody to pray for a healthy recovery for Mommy. The star of such adult title, see, this will let you know who she is. Adult film title says Boobsville Sorority Girls, is running as a write-in candidate in 2006 because she failed to gather enough signatures to be on the November ballot. Last week, Kerry followed Lita Schwarzenegger's Democratic challenger, State Treasurer Phil Angelides, in demanding that NBC TV host Jay Leno give her equal time on The Tonight Show following the governor's recent guest appearance on the program. I guarantee you Mary Carey will get a much bigger tune-in than Arnold. I guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
And if she's the gropinator, who's going to care?
Here's a poll suggestion from somebody. What do Americans do better than anybody else in the world?
It's a good poll.
Is it?
I think
Here's the choices they gave so far. Make love, waste time, party/get intoxicated. That's up Josh's alley when he's not trying to be Tobey Maguire. Kill, pollute, lie, make war, deny reality, spend money on crap, medicine, and movies. Well, I would agree with many of those, wouldn't you?
Sure.
But that first one there, make love better than anybody else in the world? No. I don't think so. But then again, what would I know about that, right?
Right.
I guess, like Clinton would say, it all depends on what you mean by that expression, what making love is. You know? To me, that's a stupid expression anyway.
Oh, it is obnoxious, and nobody uses it.
Because most sexual, well, whatever. There's an awful lot of sex going on that has nothing to do with love. Let me just put that way. And, of course, George, I finally figured it out yesterday while I was eating my ice cream.
Did you?
Yeah, you're not just like my mother. You're like a combination of both of my parents.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. My mother on the nagging side and my father on the cold-hearted side.
Well, I didn't start out that way, you know.
George learned through a bitter experience, through no fault of his own, that there's no such thing as love. That's what he would tell you.
I was a doe-eyed, optimistic youth.
And here I just took that poll a couple of weeks ago about falling in love every few minutes, man. When you're out and about. As Mark Foley would say, Hey, I got news for you, man. There are many times, including the other day at Woodbine, twice I saw people in there and I thought to myself, like that. But you can't touch because you get smacked in the mouth and probably thrown out. Of course, you never know. Maybe they might like it, as the father said over there in Malta.
He looked like he was enjoying it.
Yeah, he seemed like he enjoyed it.
He was saying,
Yeah, he said, well, what's not to like? Wasn't that was an old Campbell Soup spot, wasn't it? Good, good. That's what Campbell Soups are.
I'll ask Reggie.
Yeah, ask Chicken Neck. He'll remember those. Nothing like those old radio spots.
In the tail, right?
Yeah. The fact that I Googled that and found out that he was born in Sturgis, Michigan, that has no significance to you, but it just, I mean, what are the odds of that? I mean, it's a small
50-50?
town. I was the program director there at WSTR in Sturgis, Michigan. Worked for a real jackass. His name was Lee Drozier. He's a real jerk. But then again, how many times do we work for anybody who's not a jerk? Now, we work for a guy now who's a pretty good guy. He's like, Joe Bell. He's okay.
He's a good guy.
Not a jerk. Not exactly a talk radio guy, but he's okay in his own bizarre way.
Doesn't talk bad about me behind my back, but I know of you.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, damn.
Just like you talk me bad about behind my back.
Just this morning.
All the time. That's what your mutual friend said.
Yeah, I know.
I was telling him about that just the other day, as a matter of fact, when he was up here, thinking about you.
I'm sure he said he's talking about you right now.
He has issues, okay? He has lady issues. That's the way it goes. All you hetero guys, man, it's all the same. You always wind up neurotic with them females, you know?
Yeah.
Now, us old fags like me, we don't have such issues. We don't have to worry about that.
That's not true.
What do you mean by that?
I've known a few figs to fall in love and get all wrapped up around somebody. And
that part sounds pretty good, getting wrapped up around somebody.
Getting all obsessed.
Call 97. Is this poll frozen now or something, or is it just, have we reached the end of the line?
We flush it.
$12.99. I flushed it. Oh, there's David Gergen on there, who's only on, what, about 80 times a day on TV?
Come on a white horse.
Oh, God. Get back on your white horse and get lost. Elope with Lady Godiva. I do like Godiva chocolate stuff.
Who doesn't?
Good point. I do like a Lou Backroad Chevy, too. That's why I buy all my Corvettes there. And not only that, I also bought some other vehicles there as well. because you can't beat him for service, selection, and, of course, sales. Greg Nelson's taken care of me for about 100 years now over there. And you'll get the same spectacular treatment at Lou Back Road like I've always gotten, and you'll go back again and again. They know how to do it right. And right now, it's Lou Back Road Chevy's race to 1,000. For the first time in their history, they want to sell 1,000 vehicles in 1 month, and they're going to do it this month, during this October. They've got the largest selection of new and used cars, including the hot new Corvettes, which is, believe me, to die for. Trucks, SUVs, and minivans, the biggest selection anywhere in town. And they've also got a lot of used cars starting at just $39.95, everyone backed by a Carfax guarantee. Lou Back Road is out to sell, like I said, 1,000 cars this month, and as a result, they're staying open until midnight every night to get to that 1,000 number. By the way, keep that in mind. If you ever do the show when you fill in and don't get 1,000 votes, stay on until midnight until you get that 1,000.
All right.
Forget the price, make them an offer, and they'll beat any deal you ever heard of anywhere. It's more money for your trade-in, 0% financing, rebates of up to $6,000. Whatever it takes, that's what my buddies at Lou Back Road will do for you. Only at Lou Back Road Chevrolet with 2 great locations for you. They're in Pompano Beach, a quarter mile west of I-95. Just look for that gigantic American flag. And also in Coconut Creek on 441, just south of the Swellgrass. And don't forget, they're staying open till midnight every night, so get your butt over to Lou Back Road right now this week. We got a week to go in October. And get the best deal in history on a great new Chevy. Or check them out on their website, Lou Back Road, BACHRODT, LouBackRoad.com.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Absolutely.
Al-Qaeda, ooh, we're gonna take you, and we promise no Bahamas. Love to bring Osama. Al-Qaeda, we'll take you off the Cuban Sea. Incredible. There's the fake Guantanamo. Abu Ghraib. That's where the bad folks go to get away from it all. There's nice prison camps for every damn terrorist man. Daily interrogations for members of the Taliban. Down in Guantanamo. Al-Qaeda, ooh, we're gonna take you, and we promise no Bahamas. We'd love to bring Osama. It's a place where you some go, dump you off like cargo. Guantanamo, what happens there? Well, you don't want to know, but that's where Al-Qaeda goes. I'm dying over here. Down to Guantanamo. Afraid we're gonna have to take you.
1,311 votes on the poll. Not too bad. We got Mad Dog coming up at 2 o'clock. I'm sure a lot of gnashing of teeth all week long about those 1-6 Dolphins and Nick Saban being such a jackass and despised and hated by all. Notice on those promos and on those rejoins that go on for an interminable amount of time? I do. And just ripping Saban an ass. And well-deserved, by the way. You know, he doesn't get any brownie points for me just because he coached at Michigan State. You know, big stinking deal. So did Duffy Doherty, okay, and he's dead. How do you like that, Nick? Your team sucks. Now, let's see. They got the bye next week?
Yes, they do.
And then after that, the Bears. How much do you... Oh, brother. In Chicago, no less.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Fun to watch.
1-7. Oh, brother. They're going to be... You talk about gnashing of teeth. There could be a lynch mob. I think there could be a lynch mob waiting for Nick when the team comes back to Chicago. If they play even remotely like they played against any of these other teams, including their miracle victory over Tennessee, if they play like they played in those 7 games against the Bears, it's going to be like 63-0. And it won't be the 63 for the Dolphins either. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. No doubt.
It's going to be really ugly, baby. And I also could be right about the fact it looks like the Patriots got that division locked up, okay? Not because, I mean, they're doing fine.
It's such a good division.
Well, you're heartless, you know, you're just brutal.
What do you mean? I mean, the Patriots, the Jets are okay, and then you got 2 turds in Buffalo and Miami.
The Bills suck, and the Dolphins are an embarrassment. They're, like Hank says, the worst in the history of the franchise. I think the Saban era is almost over.
Absolutely.
You know, when you're dealing with a guy like that who lets you know right up front that he's real uptight about the media and his thin skin, they're going to go 10 times as hard on him as they would ordinarily. You know what I'm saying?
This is the wrong town for that.
That's for sure. If you want to have a thin skin, stay out of South Florida. It's not good for your complexion.
You'll get cancer.
That's right. You get that big carcinoma. If the elections for Congress were held today, according to the new Newsweek poll, 60% of white evangelicals would support the Republican candidate in their district compared to 31% who would back the Democrat. To the uninitiated, it may sound like heartening news for Republicans in the autumn of their discontent, but if you're a pundit, a poll, or a preacher, you know better. White evangelicals are a cornerstone of the GOP base. In 2004, exit polls found Republicans carried white evangelicals 3-1 over Democrats, getting 74% of their vote. In turn, evangelicals carried the GOP to victory, but with little more than 2 weeks before the crucial at 2 weeks from today now, the Republican base may be cracking, it says. This is in the Newsweek. If something doesn't give, and quick, Republicans will view 2004 as the good old days. 55% of likely voters in the new Newsweek poll say they'd vote for the Democrat in their district if the election were held today, against 37% who said they'd vote for the Republican. That's not surprising. But the new poll suggests that from the leanings of bellwether voting blocs to voters' priorities that a possible Republican loss could turn into a rout.
Oh!
Take white Catholic swing voters who went for Bush in the 2004 election. This time, 44% of them plan to vote Democrat versus 42% who plan to vote Republican. Among independents, 44% support the Democrat in their district, while 34% support the Republican. And voters have more faith in the Democrats than almost every major issue presented in the poll, conducted Thursday and Friday nights of last week through phone interviews with 1,000 adults. On Iraq, Democrats 46-34. On the economy, 45-35. Federal spending, 52-29. And healthcare, 57-24. That sounds like Dolphins scores on the losing end. But Democrats shouldn't start measuring for the drapes in the Speaker's office just yet. Compared to the Newsweek poll 2 weeks ago, taken in the aftermath of Miss Foley's congressional page scandal, the Republicans seem to be closing the issues gap, at least on the issue where they've traditionally enjoyed greater voter trust than Democrats. The October 5 and 6 poll gave Democrats a lead on moral values, 42-36, a stunning reversal of every previous poll. While Republicans haven't retaken their lead on the issue, they've stopped the slide. In the new poll, 41% of Americans say they trust the Democrats more on values, and 37% said that they trusted the GOP more. How about we don't trust any of them? How do you like that? That's my idea.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of crooks. The Democrats are just a buffer. Remember what they said in The Godfather? Got a lot of buffers on the street.
Mm-hmm.
What was that guy's name with a mustache?
Chi-Chi.
Yeah, very good. Why, Chi-Chi. That is shocking.
Cheech, they call him, you know.
Yeah, Cheech. Cheech Marron. 50 banane. Get out of here. Take your bananas and get lost, okay? Just go home and take your ugly wife with you. I mean, this guy, he was like, just a guy, like maybe 35, 40-ish. She looked like his grandma. It was his wife. She had a honker the size of Yonkers. Unbelievable.
Yeah, an Italian with a big nose? I don't believe you.
Not an Italian nose. She was, believe me.
What?
Grotesque.
Oh.
Probably had a lot of cash, though, Which best describes... See, that's one thing about you, man. That's where you made your bad mistake.
What's
if you're going to be miserable all your life, at least marry into a family that's got loads of cash. Millions.
Yeah,
billions.
Well, never did think along those lines.
Well, you better start right now.
In
Not too late.
retrospect, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Let's see, we got 35 minutes to go, and we got 1320. We need 80 votes for 1,400. Do you think we could do it in 35 minutes? That's a little more, just more than 2 a minute. If the audience is in it, we can win it. 1320 on the money. Which best describes the UM football program? I'm not going to read the... it's pointless because it is boring. They suck. And their schedule, who the hell makes up that schedule? It's almost like the whole concept is, let's keep playing teams that are weaker and weaker and schools that are smaller and smaller, and maybe we'll find one we can beat someday and actually look convincing doing it, as opposed to escaping by the skin of their teeth. You do realize, Josh, they could have easily lost the Houston game and the Duke game.
Right. Well, they got a lot of problems at the end of their schedule starting Saturday, so we'll see what happens.
Who they got?
They got Georgia Tech, then Virginia Tech, and Boston College last game of the year.
Oh, Boston College, the ghost of Doug Flutie will be there to kick their ass. Wouldn't you think? Didn't BC just beat somebody pretty good? It seems to me, I could have dreamed that, but I don't pay much attention. But it seemed to me they just beat the crap out of like a decent team. Not a girls' team like the Hurricanes. 26 past 1 at 560 WQM, where we are really sports intensive, man, and George ain't too happy about it, and neither is the audience.
I was just going to say.
The audience is, they're not into it, okay? There are actually zillions of people out there that don't live, die, and breathe. They may actually watch the game. They may even go to a bunch of games. But they actually, outside of that, their motto isn't necessarily...
I have no lie.
...other than sniffing jockstraps. I guess it all depends on who was wearing it, right? I'm so depressed about James Franco. I don't know whether to scream or eat 50 bananas.
Well, maybe he'll look better in the second one. I never did.
I sure hope so. He was like a punk. He was a scrawny... And it made me think, man, oh man, this guy was losing weight. Who knows? He's Jewish, though. How can a guy named James Franco be Jewish? Doesn't that shock? Of course, maybe that's not his real name. That would be unusual in Hollywood and show business.
Well, they have Jewish Italians, don't they?
50 banane. Experience the difference at Mercedes-Benz of Pompano. At Mercedes-Benz of Pompano, it doesn't matter what time of the month you purchase a vehicle. You know, seriously, if I had a baseball bat and Gary Sarner's head on a plate, I'd spend all day just bashing and smashing. He is what he is, you know. Anyway, whether it's one of the brand new 2007 Mercedes-Benz luxury sedans, the 2007 GL Class, the first Mercedes-Benz full-size SUV, or their large selection of certified pre-owned cars, you know you're going to get one hell of a deal. When you choose Mercedes-Benz of Pompano, you've got over 200 employees dedicated to providing incomparable service, offering you express lube, rhymes with tube, courtesy vehicles, and complimentary car wash. Make an appointment through the Business Development Center. You can even earn dealer miles just like frequent flyer miles, too. Browse Mercedes-Benz of Pompano's Indoor Expo with over 150 new and pre-owned vehicles, or go to benzpompano.com. Experience the difference at Mercedes-Benz of Pompano, and what a difference it is. Call 1-800-NEW-BENZ, N-E-W-B-E-N-Z. That's 1-800-NEW-BENZ. You'll find them at I-95 and Copans Road. For Mercedes-Benz of Pompano, a Mercedes-Benz dealer like no other. Be sure and tell them that Gary Sarner sent you by.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
Absolutely.
He's not straight, Mark Foley's a hobo.
You fairy.
Another fine Republican, moralist queer ho. Raymond Neocon had to resign, yeah. Far behind now. He's just a mortal, rounder, pounder, back. He's just another Bush, Oiler, Republican, Democrat, the flag, button,
Other witnesses, Foley's former chief of staff, said he told Hastert staff as early as 2002 or 2003 of concerns about Foley. And also, there are members of Congress, members of the leadership in Hastert.
They're breathless, man, at NBC. House Speaker Dennis Hastert testifying before the House Ethics Committee, totally unexpected. And they're like breathless. Brian Williams is peeing on the counter.
I wonder if he's going to lie. Any such conversation. Brian.
So, Mike, knowing as we do that the Speaker of the House is in this, behind that wooden door against the brick wall in the House Ethics Committee room, what's happening in there? What kind of format does testimony take?
Rectum. Well, there are 4 fellow members of the House of Representatives who form the subcommittee of the House Ethics Committee. It's officially known as the House Standards of Official Conduct Committee, and they'll be questioning Hastert about the timeline. If you judge by many of the people that have walked through those same doors over the past 3 weeks, Brian, what they're doing is trying to establish a narrative about who knew what and when, and what, if anything, they did about it to try to stop Mark Foley from some of these inappropriate contacts.
I wonder if the House Ethics Committee's got the donuts laid out, the ones with the sprinkles on them for Denny. Those are the ones he likes best.
All for me.
Some of them Krispy Kremes. I heard that Foley liked some of them. Well, anyway. 1,340 votes on the poll. I don't think we're going to get to 14. Look at what?
You ever see the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
And from other people, staffers who say that they've told his staff much sooner than the...
I got a hunch he's going to get his ass whooped. 1340 on the UM Bash poll today. What best describes the UM football program? I mean, you got a couple of positive choices on there, like Dynasty and Exciting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have the nerve to vote for those, we don't know you. 1342. That was a good year. And we're going to need 58 for 1400. Let's see, 24 minutes 58. I don't think we're going to do it. Me of little faith. I think we're going to fall short. And you know what? Too bad. We're not going to infringe on Mad Dog's territory and stay over past 2 o'clock just to get to 1400. We had 1,000 like quarter to 11 this morning. And speaking of that Romy business, I guarantee you wouldn't be hearing about Denny Hastert testifying before the House Ethics Committee on the Jim Rome show.
It's hard to believe that neither Hastert or...
No, but very seriously, stop and think about this. Do you know who that's going to hurt from noon to 3? At least the noon to 2 part of it. Which station is talking sports between noon and 2 with their .8 share or whatever they got?
Not us.
Across the street.
Yeah.
So once Romy comes back on, and once Jim Sarney starts huffing and puffing, look at the job Jim Sarney did getting a good job for his buddy Evan Cohen, or whatever his name was. Wasn't that his name?
That was his name.
In fact, we got Evan on the schedule this Sunday morning, 10 to noon. Oh, I thought the Panthers were playing again on the Sunday morning. This Clarence man, if any rational person would look at this schedule, they realize this kid has lost it. He has collapsed. He has suffered a emotional and mental collapse. Maybe he's got woman problems, or maybe Robert cut him off. Well, one or the other. He has issues. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Cindy Sheehan says, "Is it Vietnam yet?" I better do the break early.
Yeah, I think you should.
Well, I don't want to interrupt her article. She's got a big pair, man. I have a lot of respect for her. She's got guts. Just like, what's her name? What was her name that had the guts? Susan, I can't believe it. Susan Powder. She had a lot of nerve going on there with her ugly ass and peddling that stupid-ass diet of hers. Oh, and speaking of stupid-ass diets, guess who is ballooned up to gigantic proportion and is still doing the spots?
Kirstie Alley.
Yeah. Have you seen the one where she's answering the door and the girl has got, I don't know, selling candy bars or something, whatever she's peddling? She's as big as a house. And then, of course, they've got her slithered into an outfit that's about 4 sizes too small, you know. They had to put her in there with a shoehorn. Wow. She is bursting out all over, that bitch. Kirstie Alley. All we can say is, of course, she's a Scientologist.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good place for neurotic people, so maybe you ought to check it out. People that have neuroses.
No, thank you.
13:52 on the poll, baby. We could make it to 14 if Josh would have pushed in that first hour, man. He's dancing around the building because his Bucks pulled it out there at the end.
Hey, man.
Look at that. Schwarzenegger's got a 13-point lead over Phil Angelides, and Mary Carey, she ain't even on the list there. They like Arnold, man, not because he's a good governor or because he knows his ass from your elbow or 50 banani, but he's Arnold, you know? It's one of those things. It's like Tobey Maguire was running for Senate. Don't you think he would win?
Yeah, sure.
Spider-Man. Or James Franco. You know, before last night I would have voted for James Franco, but after seeing that movie, the movie was really enjoyable.
Well, you'll like the second one better, and James is a little bit more grown up, so, you know.
It's not just a question of grown up. It's like emaciated. He looks like...
well, maybe he's had some meals in between the two movies.
Well, if you ever butch up and watch Tristan and His Old, he looks really good there. And he looks really good on my wallpaper on my desktop. Let me take a look. Yeah, he still looks good. On my desktop. Hey, it's Dollar Mattress's 30th birthday. We ought to give him like a little jingle, wouldn't you think?
Do it.
Well, if I can find the damn thing. Here it is. And to celebrate their 30th anniversary, Dollar Mattress and Simmons are offering the lowest price of the year on the best-selling Simmons Beauty Rest Pillow Top. You can choose from South Florida's biggest selection of Simmons Beauty Rest, and of course you get same-day delivery, like always with Dollar Mattress. I've used them for over 20 years, man, a long time, and it's their 30th birthday. Boy, I sure wish I had that thing queued up, you know, but I don't.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
It's my birthday.
See, there it is. When you live the good, clean life. You can choose from South Florida's biggest selection of Simmons Beauty Rest. Like I said, if you're finally ready for a really great night's sleep for years to come, do the smart thing. Forget about those bedding in department stores and schlepping all over town and wasting a lot of time and gas and money. Call Dollar Mattress with that one easy call, 1-800-MATTRESS, for no-nonsense, factory-direct prices and award-winning service. Dollar Mattress has got 12-month financing, and with Dollar Mattress, they deliver when you want them to. You pick the 2-hour window when it's convenient for you when your ass is going to be home, and they show up 7 days a week from 8 in the morning till 10 p.m. You pick the time, 11 to 1, 1 to 3, 2 to 4, 4:45 to 6:45. They'll even show up on the same day that you call. And Dollar Mattress delivers just about every time. That's why Dollar Mattress is ranked #1 in the world at customer satisfaction, and why all of us at QM use Dollar Mattress. On the web, check them out at dollarmattress.com or call that toll-free number, 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES. Leave off the last S because it stands for spectacular savings and sales holes.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Wants me to sing God Bless America and pasties and a G-string up here, I'll do it.
Look at that, we need 40 votes and we got 15 minutes, man. We're going to fall short. I can smell it already.
I'm Kim Jong-il, and I'm so thrilled. I just make history. I rate the fuse on my nukes. It is a first for me, so you better watch out. I got the bomb, you see. Baby, I got the bomb, you see. Oh, yes, it's a I got the bomb, you see. Baby, I got the bomb, you see. I a tiny man. I scared Japan. I got the bomb, you see. George Bush is mad, but I don't care. A mushroom cloud as big as my hair. I got the bomb, you see. Baby, oh, I got the bomb, you see. I'm totally serious. I got the bomb, I'm gonna brew you up. I got the bomb, you see. Crazy running bomb. I got the bomb, you see. Baby, I got the bomb, you see.
I hear Miss Foley likes his shrooms.
I got the bomb, you see.
146, 1402. We got 1362. Is that what you got? Better refresh it. This is going to be really... I mean, I don't know where I came up with that 1400 number. I just pulled it out of my nose.
Spotty ass, yeah.
Spotty ass. 1364. There's the gecko. I'm really tired of it.
I hate the gecko. That's the only thing I don't like about their commercials.
I mean, I didn't mind him in the beginning before they came up with the good stuff.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to hear the gecko when you
I
got...
like the caveman. I like the Vern. I like all these in a world. All
right.
Those, yeah.
On the phone, call Geico.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Anyway, American soldiers shot and killed 4 Iraqi firemen after mistaking their fire tender for one hijacked by insurgents. U.S. military headquarters has said, what is a fire tender?
They tend fires? You tell me.
Is your fire tender? After receiving word that a fire truck and its crew were just hijacked, coalition forces pulled over a fire truck matching that description, said a statement describing Monday's incident in the western city of Fallujah. When the unarmed firefighters got out of the fire tender, U.S. soldiers opened fire and killed them, mistaking them for armed insurgents. Well, they're a little touchy over there, as you can well understand, which is why several of them, many of them are now saying, we want to come home and cut the crap and end this war now.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yes.
1364, man. We need 36 votes in 13 minutes. That's just out of our... We can't... 1366. We're going to be like right on the precipice of 1400. They're going to leave us hanging today. Can't you feel it? Can't you smell it?
I smell something.
Probably the FIU crowd. Cindy Sheehan says, is it Vietnam yet? With the midterm elections looming dangerously close 2 weeks from today, and with public opinion and opposition to Georgia's failed foreign policies crossing the 2/3 mark, the White House announced that they're going to present their puppet government of Iraq with a timetable for U.S. withdrawal. This reminds me of Richard Nixon's secret plan to remove U.S. troops from Vietnam that he touted in his narrow electoral victory over Hubert Humphrey in 1968. The U.S. plan for withdrawing from Iraq would include disarming militias and training more Iraqi security forces to take over security of the country, which sounds suspiciously like Nixon's Vietnamization program. With the incipient warmonger Kissinger, we were wondering why Iraq was such an unmitigated disaster. Back in the Oval Office advising George, does this smell like a fiasco to anyone else? Unbelievably, even though my own son was killed in Iraq, I'm often told that the U.S. deaths in this young century's first conflict for profit are negligible compared to Vietnam or a drop in the bucket. I have terrible news for those right-wing carnage Confederates. Iraq is even deadlier for U.S. forces in Vietnam. In the first 3 years, 7 months of the illegal and immoral occupation of Iraq, 2,800 of our volunteer soldiers have been tragically killed. And in the first 4 years of the illegal and immoral conflict in Vietnam, 1,864 conscripts were killed. The disparity in KIAs is huge, and the implications of this makes me nauseous. October is turning into one of the grisliest months for soldiers and citizens in Iraq, with Henry Kissinger visiting Georgia on a semi-regular basis, and with the beat of the death drums pounding for Iran. We can recall Nixon's invasion of Cambodia and the resulting carnage in Southeast Asia and the violent protests like Kent State here at home. Apparently, Nixon's secret plan was increased slaughter, and I shudder to think of Georgia's plans for peace. In $2,000, the congressional hacks of the war machine splurged $161 billion of our dollars in the 14 years that Vietnam dragged disastrously on. However, that's a paltry sum. So far in $2006, Congress has deliriously wasted almost $340 billion. The war machine is busy laundering the blood out of their money before they make a deposit in the National Bank of Lost Hopes and Dreams. The other similarities to Vietnam prove the old adage that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. In 1967, Bob McNamara, JFK and LBJ Secretary of War and prime architect of the Vietnam mistake, left his post as primary civilian death deliverer to become president of the World Bank. Similarly, Assistant Secretary of War and prime architect, cheerleader, and liar of the Iraqi mistake, Paul Wolfowitz, left his post in the War Department for the apparent next logical step of president of the World Bank. Evidently, it's not only in Bushco that one's penchant for butchery is rewarded handsomely. Across the country, our fellow Americans despair that young people aren't involved in the anti-war movement, or there isn't as much activism as there was during the Vietnam years. Historically, the anti-war movement is much more active and relevant in this conflict than in the same time period during Vietnam. There were enormous demonstrations before the invasion of Iraq because millions of people around the world didn't want to be witnesses to another bloody struggle, and I didn't want to be, and didn't want to be killed, didn't want killing to be waged in their names. Good reading. I myself have been involved in enormous demonstrations just in the last year, writes Cindy. As the news coverage on the ground in Iraq vastly differs from the news coverage in Vietnam, so does the coverage of the anti-war movement, which is terribly underreported. Recently, Congress members from California wrote a letter to Rumbo to request that the Pentagon remove embedded reporters from CNN out of Iraq because, surprisingly, CNN showed some ghastly footage of Iraqi snipers targeting U.S. troops. No one wants to see death as it happens unless it's fictional, and increasingly Americans are realizing that just because we're not shown the shocking images doesn't mean that they aren't happening. We are beginning to come out of the media-induced coma and contradict Bushco's perception that Iraq is a hotbed of happiness and democracy. No, we the people are realizing that the criminals who put our young people in an avoidable situation are the ones to blame, and the shocking images will stop when our troops are brought home. In Vietnam, we saw a lieutenant convicted and later pardoned for war crimes in the horrors of My Lai. In Iraq, we've seen a few privates and specialists be similarly prosecuted for such horrors as
Abu Ghraib.
After Vietnam, Nixon, Johnson, McNamara, Kissinger, etc. should have been prosecuted for war crimes and crimes against humanity. We all know what happened to each of them. Kissinger won the Nobel Peace Prize, McNamara went on to the World Bank, and the presidents retired in infamy to their estates in a cozy lifetime with their families. Did any of them have regrets, nightmares, or feelings of abject guilt? Probably not, but we know for certain that none of them went to prison. For this quagmire of Iraq, we the people must make sure that Bushco cannot retire to their ranches in Crawford or Paraguay, or estates to live lives of relative ease. They must be prosecuted and imprisoned for the murders that their policies and greed have caused. Wars for profit will not end until those responsible for causing them are forced to face their mistakes and pay for them.
You go, girl.
There's more to it. I don't have time to read all. The last paragraph, she says, is Iraq Vietnam yet? Yes and no. Yes, that people are dying for no reason and the continued death is justified by not cutting and running. Yes, that families are being destroyed and our treasuries not only being emptied, but trillions in the red. But also no, Iraq is worse than Vietnam, she says. 1380, baby. We're right on the precipice of greatness. If we made 1400 by 2 o'clock, I think I might squeeze myself. Not too tightly. You think?
Well, I don't know.
1382, we need 18 votes in 7 minutes, and there's Miss Potter again. She's all whipped up.
Florida, some analysts say the turnout could actually be low because many voters are turned out by the lengthy and often negative campaigns, Brian.
Oh, it looks like she just smelled somebody. Maybe the cameraman had a real bad egg fart. Wow. You see the way she wrinkled up her nose, Miss Potter? 153 at 560 WQM. It's Lobster Fest every weekend, man, every Friday through Sunday at the Emerald Coast, the best Chinese buffet in town. 3 locations for you. You'll find the Emerald Coast in Sunrise, Pembroke Pines, and Sunny Isles. And over 100 different delicious items featured on Emerald Coast's amazing buffet. All of them crunchy and delicious, too, by the way. Nothing soggy and goopy. 6 delicious gourmet soups. Delicious, succulent New York steak grilled to order, juicy and fantastic. Hand-carved prime rib, sushi, traditional Asian dishes, a salad bar, and a bar. And the dessert bar is spectacular. All Josh has to do is hear the word bar, and he immediately lights up like a Hanukkah bush. And the dessert bar at the Emerald Coast is spectacular, too. Weekends feature the 40-inch mouth-watering chocolate fountain, hand-dip your strawberries, all kinds of fruits, marshmallows, cheesecake, other decadent treats, and loads of milk chocolate. For dessert, a perfect way to end a gigantic pig-out at the Emerald Coast. No headaches because they don't use any MSG, only the best healthy cholesterol-free canola oil. And right now, when you go in as a party of 4, ask for the Neil Deal. You get $5.60 off your total check with 4 paying adults. Emerald Coast open for lunch and dinner every day. Call 954-572-3822 for reservations. 954-572-3822. Don't forget, every day it's a Neil Deal day, and Friday through Sunday it's Lobster Fest only at the Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
T96, we need 4 votes in 2 minutes. Anybody could do that, right? You think?
Not anybody.
4 votes for 1400. Do it or screw you.
WQAM. You failed.
Several days ago, I commented briefly on some recent statements that have been made by some members of Congress about Iraq. And it's important to make this point at the outset. The President of the United States purposely misled the American people on pre-war intelligence. American soldiers and Marines serving in Iraq go out every day into some of the most dangerous and unpredictable conditions. These brave Americans were sent into battle for a deliberate falsehood. Pre-war information was distorted to corrupt the oil for food program. There is no denying that the President lied to the American people. This is revisionism of the most corrupt and shameless variety. It's also something I enjoy.
1,400 votes.
One of the reasons I've stayed in the business. I believe the feeling is probably the same for most of us in public life. The President and his administration hate our country, hate the liberties for which we stand. They dwell in the shadows, have no regard for the laws of warfare, and feel unconstrained by any standard of morality. The President of the United States is dishonest and reprehensible, and none of us should want it any other way. Thank you very much.
Bye, bye, bye.